So hi there, everybody. Hope you're well. Good afternoon. It's 3:30 on Saturday, the 29th of August, 2020. This is Ademola, and welcome to day 2 of 1000 Black Boys. And this is our second online event, and this is the second day of that. So yesterday was absolutely phenomenal, was absolutely amazing, and we are going to just get started. Bear with me while I load this up. Yeah, so thank you for being on. And thank you for those of you that were on yesterday, that are back again today. And for those of you that are here for the first time, thank you also. Well done. Well done for being here. So let me just bring up my slides for you. And if you're on, share this with people. Okay. It's coming, it's coming. It's loading up. So the lap's is going super slowly, but we're getting there very, very slowly. There we go. We're very, very close. So welcome to today. So my name is Ademola Adeyeba. I'm the CEO and founder of 1000 Black Boys. So we kicked off yesterday, and we had some phenomenal, amazing, incredible speakers. For those of you who are on for the first time, I'm going to just go over some of the things from yesterday, just to catch you up, and also just share with you who we are and why we do what we do. So for those of you who were on yesterday, some of this stuff you might know already anyway. Yeah, but please stay with me. And yeah, again, I know I said this yesterday. If you see me looking over to this side, it's because I'm working on 2 screens. So there's some things on this side that I want to say to you. So that's why I will be looking to this side sometimes and then over here looking at you. But don't worry, you've still got my full attention. I'm not distracted. I'm fully here. I'm fully present. Right. So as mentioned, so who we are is we are a group of entrepreneurs, professionals, business owners, parents, sons, daughters, they're all part of the team. And we have a real passion to make a difference to Black boys and to young Black men. And that's the reason why we do this. And for us, we see the media narrative. We see the things that are said. We see all of this. And we're just a group of people that are committed to not just sitting around and waiting for things to happen. We are very much about what can we do to go out there and make a difference, and how can we be responsible. So we see the issues within the schooling system. We see things to do with stop and search. We see all of this stuff, and we see all of these challenges. And what we are absolutely committed to is making a difference, because we also see the opportunities. And we see the potential that these young Black boys and Black men have. And we're literally about, wow, if the world could get that, that would be amazing. And we see the world getting that, and that is amazing. So that's our commitment. So our message is definitely one of potential, vision, and power. We're definitely about that. So we're definitely about focusing on the things that we want and the things that we see, rather than the things that we don't. I'm also going to share with you now very, very briefly. It'll be a recap for those of you that were on yesterday. But I'm going to share with you very briefly the vision for 1000 Black Boys, just so you can see that and you get where we're coming from and you get why we exist. I think it's really important to share vision. I think that makes a huge difference. So for our vision, we've got a short version and a long version. Why? Just because we do. And the short version could be probably like just to give you a really quick overview, but it all ties into the same thing. So the short version is we exist to inspire Black boys and young Black men to unleash their potential and to live a life of purpose. We're definitely about that. And the full version is we exist to empower and enable Black boys and young Black men to discover their greatness, to unleash their uniqueness, to innovate, and to create things that have never been done before. We want them to have the audacity to dream big, and in so doing, transform the world. We're definitely about that. So when we get together as a team, we're about how can we make that a reality. And so why are we doing this right now? So as mentioned, this is our second one. We did one in June, and we're doing one yesterday and today. And we've got plans for other ones in October and for the rest of the year. So we've seen the issue with the lockdown, massive impact of the lockdown of COVID-19. Now they're talking about it being it is actually a recession going on to a depression. So a depression is 4 quarters of negative growth. We're going to be doing that very, very shortly. And people are talking about the likes of this we haven't seen for at least 100 years. So this is a big deal. When a lot of the people that are on furlough, if their companies don't make it, that'll be a huge impact. So we see all of this. So week just gone, Jacob Blake being paralyzed. Prior to that time, George Floyd and the protests and the riots and the protests over in the UK. We see all of this stuff. During the lockdown in London, for example, there was an increase in the number of black boys and black men that were stopped. It went up during the lockdown. Racism in the UK. So yet again, we see all of the challenges, we see all of the problems, we see all of the things that don't work. And we're absolutely about, we can make a difference and we want to engage. So we're not about being angry, being afraid of being confused. We don't want that for you either. You can be angry, but don't stay angry. We definitely don't want you afraid and we don't want you confused. And let's be honest, the news has been given that for like 24 weeks now, of the same kind of negative, bad kind of news, which triggers the limbic system and people get confused and they're easily controlled. So we're not about that. We want our community and everybody who's watching this and listening to this to literally be clear, powerful, focused, and strategic. That you can collaborate and partner with people that we're going to bring on today. And you can see how you can partner with them and their organizations. So we're definitely about that. And we don't want our community, we don't want you to be a victim of circumstance of life. We want you to be powerful and to happen to life. That is absolutely what we want. So that's why we're doing this today. And yeah, I shared this yesterday. So yesterday, 57 years ago, was the Martin Luther King speech over in the US at the Washington Memorial. It's one of probably the most iconic speech ever in, I would say, that we remember in living memory. Really powerful. And it's just interesting that spoke about a dream. It spoke about a future where things are transformed. And we're still standing for that today. So we don't see that as a reason to be despondent or down or to be, oh, this is really terrible. We don't see that at all. We see it as, okay, it's the journey. The baton's been passed over to us. And we want to do excellent with that so we can pass that baton on to the next generation. And it's just really, really interesting that 57 years later, yesterday, we started day 2 of our 1000 Black Boys event. I just thought that was really interesting just to kind of share that with you down memory lane. Bear with me. Okay, cool. So let me give you a brief overview of what happened yesterday. So yesterday we had some amazing speakers on board. So I shared in more detail about the vision for 1000 Black Boys yesterday morning or yesterday afternoon. And then I did a session about reality. And by this, I mean, I'm also the founder of a company called Get Hench, and Get Hench in terms of thinking and mindset. And I did a session, a coaching session that I do with entrepreneurs, that I do with young people, that I do with business people, that I do with musicians. And it's really about that in life, there will be circumstances, that there will be challenges. That's life. How do you know that you are alive? Because things happen in life. That's how you know. And I was really sharing that after the thing has happened and you've experienced a circumstance, you get a chance and the opportunity to choose what happens next. So you choose what happens next. So your response to whatever's happened is not automatic. And I shared my experience. So about even from this lockdown. So 2020, we had plans of doing events face to face. We were going to do events with Get Hench, do events with 1,000 Black Boys. We had it all planned for the year, especially with Get Hench. And come March, everything was locked down. And all of our plans went out of the window, completely out of the window. The plan that gone into, or all the planning and the effort that gone into that, we had to basically remodel ourselves. We had to think about how do we still get to make a difference in this whole pandemic? And it's our response from that means that we can do this today. And I was just sharing with people that there's a way to think from, there's a tool to use called reality. And the R stands for responsibility, the E for engagement, the A for awareness, the L for life, listen, and love, the I for intelligence, the T for trust, and the Y for you say yes. And I really went into this. I went into what does this mean? What does it look like? How could you use it? And then after my session, we had an incredible speaker, Joy, the founder of Be Extraordinary, and she went through practical steps and tools that allow people to be really clear on what they are great at, and to then look at ways to do something with those skills and with the thing that they're great at, and to also look at who they could partner with, and importantly, what could be potential obstacles to making that a reality. Another phenomenal session. And then we did a session with Olumide Shepherd from Rock Solid Relationships. This was quite an interesting session. So this session was more directed at the parents. And why is that important? Because with 1,000 Black Boys, we're committed in terms of dealing with this, with the cause and not just the symptom. So we're committed that we deal with the cause of problems, issues that we see in society. And a big part of that starts from the home. And he was talking about how both parents can build a really powerful relationship that then creates a culture for the boys and the girls to grow up in, and how that makes a difference 10, 15, 20, 30 years down the line. Very, very useful, practical session. And he mentioned two strategies to use. One's called the relational room, and one is called the business room or the project room. So relational room and the project room. And then to close, we did a session with a panel session. We brought in Elizabeth from a company called Show Up. Interestingly, think about Elizabeth, she's also my niece, and I've seen her journey. And I saw her in the first year of her property business. They did nearly 6 figures in year one of business. Nearly £100,000 in year one of business. It's rare. So they did that. Another coronavirus hits, and her business has probably lost about £80,000 worth of bookings. So 80K worth of bookings is gone. So she had to pivot and remodel herself and remodel her business. And during the lockdown, she launches a business with her mum. And we did a panel session just to really inspire people and to give you some tools. So that was yesterday. And now today, we've got an incredible speaker that's coming on very, very shortly. His name is Viv Armoon. I'll give him an opportunity to say more about himself and what he does. But listen to this gentleman. He's also got some incredible things that he's doing that you can definitely get involved with and be a part of. So let me just bring Viv on. Let's have a look. Yes. Hi there, Viv.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm very well. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Great.
Brilliant. So great to have you on. Thank you for being on. And I'll let you talk about yourself very, very shortly, because you do some very powerful things for the community that many people might not see your face on it, but they felt the impact of it. And I've also got to say this, that Viv does such great work within the community that he's also one of my coaches with how we make a difference with 1,000 Black Boys. And I was very keen and very excited to get him on today so he can talk about what he's doing, what he's up to, and also why he does what he does. And as we're going to go into this part, my request of you is to really engage with the conversation, to enjoy the session, to interact with us. We know this is a webinar and it could be like a one-way conversation, but as much as you can, interact with us. It'll make a huge difference. And also look and listen for actions that you can take and what you can get involved with. So yeah, Viv, over to you.
Oh my God. Well, first and foremost, Eddie, thank you for inviting me onto the show, onto the webinar. Over the last few months, I've been trying to avoid giving presentations and so on, because there's just so much noise out there at the moment, particularly within our community. And I wanted to give as much time and energy as possible to reviewing and processing what's taking place in our community. But you're doing such great work there. I felt a real drive and motivation to speak on this webinar today. So thank you for the opportunity. I literally just jumped out of an Uber, so I'm allowing my head to catch up with me. I think I want to start by just saying a little bit about myself. So yes, as you said, my name is Viva. My core competence is social policy and European law. That's what I was trained in. I've got a degree in. Qualified psychotherapist, and I've been involved in service development and delivery for decades. In fact, when I'm speaking on a podium, I usually say to people, the first business I established was when I was 12 years of age. I asked my dad for a bike, and he said, in a very thick Jamaican accent, "I'm not going to give you a bike so you can get run over." So I literally had to save my pocket money. Save my pocket money and purchase bits and pieces of bikes until I eventually had a whole one. As soon as I built the bike, somebody offered me twice the amount of money that it cost me to build it. And little did I know it at the time, but that was the beginning of my entrepreneurial and business career, and I've not looked back. But as you rightly said, I have a passion for giving or being in service. It inspires, motivates me, and keeps me healthy in the same way that sustenance does, and good night's sleep does, and all the rest of it. And I want to talk a little bit about some of that activity and how we manage the ongoing crisis that we're in as well. So, is it possible to pin up the first slide? Is that all good to go?
Yeah, sure. So I'm gonna share that with everyone.
Mm-hmm. We'll see where it goes. Okay. Yeah, that's great. So I set up an organization called Black Socks about 4 years ago. I set it up with two of my colleagues, Patricia Lamore and Lee Jasper. We wanted to establish a network that was a Black orientated network. It was different from the stuff that was already out there, that took a little bit more time to address some of the perennial issues that people are constantly referring to in our community, like the absence of partnership working, the lack of a strategic focus, lack of emphasis on economic empowerment, self-empowerment, and so on. So we set that network up about 4 or 5 years ago now, called Black Socks. And Black Socks it was named after a comment that a young man made on YouTube, where he said, it's about time that the Black elders in the community, started supporting us, as they pulled up their socks and started supporting us. And so that where Black Socks as a name came from. Mm.
No, I just wanted to ask you that, but yeah, that answers that question.
So there are a number of things that Black Socks said it wouldn't do. It wouldn't deliver services wouldn't be deliver services. It wouldn't be knee-jerky in as an organization. We see it all the time. Something happens, people jump on Instagram, they jump on Facebook, and so on, and making lots and lots and lots of noise about it. They try to invent themselves or reinvent themselves as the expert around it, whether it's COVID, the George Floyd, Black Lives Matter. They're all of a sudden there talking as though they're font of all wisdom on that. We didn't want to do that. We didn't want to be reactive in that way. We wanted to take our time. And so what we said was that in the first 3 years, all we would do is grow ourselves as a network and as a tight family. And there are 20 individuals in the core of Black Sox. It was difficult at first. There'd maybe be a stabbing somewhere, and people within the group, and we should be doing something, we should be jumping on this, we should be out making statements, we should be marching, whatever it was. And then we'd be like, no, let's just let that play out, because the inevitability of it all is that even if we react to this one, there's going to be another one, and another one, and another one. Let's take our time to determine a more longitudinal, long-term, more strategic response to what's happening in our community in the UK and more widely. And the key point also was that there was always going to be somebody else reacting, so we weren't required. After about a year, people started to settle in to this idea of us being there, not to react, not to be responsible for delivering services, but to be an entity that facilitates the development and delivery of services, that facilitates the coming together of individuals, leadership, and all this arguing and bickering in our community, working to reduce that and eventually eradicate it. And a couple of terms that have come out of that thinking in our vocabulary as an organization. One is 24 months is a year. So in our heads, we don't have to be in such an urgency to get things established. It comes out of insecurity. This idea, if we don't do it quickly, we're going to miss the opportunity, the window's going to close, and so on. It's born out of an insecurity. The second one is this idea of slow, quick, slow. That we don't have to immediately respond. We can actually stop, let the others respond, analyze, reflect, review, plan, and then act. So that's where this idea of slow, quick, slow comes in. And then the slow at the end is the review, the debrief, and the replanning that enables us to come again even more effectively. That iterative leadership approach that we're learning, we're reflecting, we're taking constructive feedback, and we're improving in order to come again, improving in order to come again. But anyway, it's 4 years down the line, and now what we're beginning to do, what I'd say about a Black Sox logo, 99.9% of the time, unless we're speaking on a beautiful platform such as this, if you see a Black Sox logo on something, it's because it sponsored that event in part or in whole. So again, it's reinforcing this idea of Black organizations and institutions as financiers, entities that provide infrastructural expertise and leadership in that way within the community. The Black Sox does not take money from the state. It's not what it's here for. It will help and facilitate other organizations to access that money, which we have a right to. We pay our taxes like anyone else. We consume more than anybody else. So we have at least as much right to government money and other resources from the state as anyone else. Now what we're doing is we're moving into this next phase after 4 years of establishing other networks and structures that do deliver services and are more transparent than Black Sox. With Black Sox, it's very opaque. It's very difficult to see who's running it. It's difficult to get a grip of how it operates, and that's deliberate. We're not customer facing, not selling products to customers, and we're not taking anything from the state, so we don't have to account ourselves to them. That's enough about Black Sox. So we begun to bring other organizations and networks into existence. And the first one I want to show you here is Black Men for Change. It was established over the last year. Prominent individuals from our community came together and talked about the need for us to work much more effectively as Black male leaders within our community. And so as a consequence, Black Men for Change was established. You've got the individuals at the top. So you've got Jake Ferguson, who's again very influential individual in his own right. He runs an organization called Hackney CBS, and he's also on the board of the National Council for Voluntary Organizations, which is responsible for something like 240,000 organizations across the country. He had the idea of the Black Men for Change and called myself, Viva, Jeremy Crook, who runs Black Training Enterprise Group, BTEG, which is another very successful, well-established and well-respected organization. And then he also called on Pablo Reed, who's responsible for setting up the Black Archive in Brixton. If you are not aware of it, please do Google it. You know, it's one of those pillars within our community, and we should take our children down there, not rely on the school to do so. Then moving very quickly on, underneath that, we've got the senator that runs Code 7 in Lambeth. We've got Courtney Brown, who has Father to Father in Haringey. We have, again, Nana and Des. Nana in Haringey and Des in Newton Forest, respectively, both doing great work with their organizations. Now, they're based in those areas, but their organizations work beyond those boroughs. And their service leads, not because of the services they do within those particular areas, but because of their areas of expertise. Black Men for Change is unashamedly focused on Black men and young Black boys and their families, because that's the public health approach to things. So let me just scroll down quickly to the lower level. Within Black Men for Change, it also has a panel of experts. We've got Leroy Logan, ex very senior police officer, established Federation of Black Police Officers. In fact, he's just got a book out, and a short film has just been made on his life that's due to be shown on Channel 4. Lee Jasper, again, former Deputy Mayor of London under Ken Livingstone. Toyin, again, very, very dynamic individual, Pan-Africanist, very dynamic, influential person. And then Royston, also a specialist coach and inclusion and diversity specialist. And then just below that, we've got Solomon Rose, who's a young person who's driving Hackney's 10-year strategy for increasing outcomes for Black boys. Tolu Luwani, who is a specialist in marketing, branding, and corporate organizational development. And then Jermaine Jackman, who again is a very influential youth leader and a rising star within the political environment. So that's our executive team. And then within that, and in addition to that, you've got another 60 individuals, and that group is growing all the time and evolving, and hopefully we can convince Ade to come on board as well.
That's really interesting. Yeah, we could definitely talk about that, Viv. So just to ask, so for those that are listening and for those that are gonna look at this later on, maybe you might be thinking about why has this been discussed at an event by an organization called 1000 Black Boys, and about how to be powerful during challenging times. So what Viv is talking about is they're not just reactionary. So they're not just looking at the headline or someone's been stabbed or someone's been shot, and then they just like they panic and they quickly come up with something to meet the narrative at that time. This is very strategic. So they're talking and thinking long term. They're talking and thinking about things that are going to have an impact in 20, 30 years' time. If you can think about and consider this, the challenges that we're facing in 2020 within our community isn't something that happened a few years ago. It didn't happen from last year or even 5, 6 years ago. It's the impact of what's happened centuries in advance, so to speak. And what Viv and the team of Black Sox are talking about is how to be strategic. And if you remember at the start of this conversation, we were saying to you that what's really important is that we're not angry, afraid, or confused. Because if you're any one of those three things, you're very easy to control and easy to manipulate. But it's important to be focused, strategic, and to plan ahead and to be calm. And what Viv is talking about is a demonstration of that. So with the people that are on the Black Men for Change team and Black Sox, it's long-term, how we can make a genuine difference that's long-lasting.
Beautiful.
That's why
Thank
they're
you.
here.
Lovely. And by illustration of that, and you're right. So this is like year 5 in that process. So the first thing that's happened in terms of the first deliverable is that Black Men for Change has secured £350,000 from the Mayor's office to roll out leadership programs for young Black boys across 4 boroughs: Haringey, Hackney, Waltham Forest, and Lambeth. They're just in the process of being established now, and then we will roll those programs out and continue to deliver on those programs going forwards. And it's so important, we believe, to make sure that going forward, these kinds of initiatives are run as a network and not siloed sole traders doing their own thing. Because what we want is when a young boy, 8 years of age or 9 years of age, goes into one of those programs, wherever it is, if it's under the auspices of Black Men for Change, that young boy can literally go wherever he wants on the planet, career-wise, get whatever resources he wants once he's in that collective. Underneath the logo, it says, "We are family first." And that's what we're cultivating. It's one of the key things that came out of Black Sox after 4 years is that actually, the most fundamental thing for us is that we're family. All the practical, pragmatic things come afterwards. And that's exactly how Black Men for Change has been established. These are all very influential, Black men in their own right. They've got their own profiles. Ashley Senator is a very successful artist. He got to #1. He's got all kinds of initiatives and programs running elsewhere, but he's still subordinating himself to that higher order. So on the bottom is the email address. Please do email us if you want to find out more about the network and the initiatives that are running across the piece. Yeah, sorry. It's I've just realized that the email address is not on the bottom, but it's info@blackmen. So it's the one on the right hand side with just info at the beginning, info@blackmen4c.com. So info@blackmen-4c.com is the email address.
Sure.
So, all right, moving very quickly.
And I want to watching. What we'll do as well is we're going to put this information on the 1000 Black Boys website. Give us till about, say, 7 p.m. Tuesday evening. It will all be on there. Probably even before that time. But by 7 p.m. Tuesday.
Look how efficient you are. Oh, my God.
There you go.
Speak it into existence and it's there. So, and just to pick up on Ade's point, we hear a lot of speakers, they talk eloquently and they give us all kinds of examples, but it's not demonstrable. So I wanted to say this is how we go about doing things, but then say, and there's an example of what we're doing, to reinforce the fact that we're not just gassing. So let me move on to the next slide, sir.
Okay.
I don't know why all of these slides are coming in, so this is quite interesting.
So let's check this one.
Yeah, that's fine. So whichever one, I don't mind. Do Omar.
Yeah, let's do Omar.
Let's do Omar. So again, what Black Sox is doing is bringing into existence entities that mirror the model that we've refined over the last 4 years. Okay, So you've just seen one with Black Men for Change, which is Black men specific, and its emphasis is on economic development, getting the right kind of competencies, skill sets in place. We talk about leadership as a core program we're running with these young guys. And you are pressing me and saying what kind of leadership you want to take, ethical leadership. So ethical leadership model within an economic paradigm. Omar is an Open Minds Alliance initiative, and it's based on the asset-based community development model, right? ABCD, asset-based community development model. And what ABCD argues is that, we've got everything we need in our community to meet our own needs. We just need to utilize those skills and those resources effectively. So again, we've got another group of individuals. Omar is in the advanced stages of establishing a digital platform around mental health and well-being for our community, and it has a range of specialists and experts involved in the establishment of the platform and the network, and a whole range of other services that it's developing and will enable others to deliver. Because like Black Socks and like Black Men for Change, Omar doesn't actually deliver anything. Black Men for Change doesn't actually deliver anything. It's individual members are commissioned to do the delivery because they're the experts, and it's the network that provides them with the additional support, leverage necessary to lobby government and or to get the right kind of economic weight necessary to draw down the resources and or form partnerships with bigger entities, because maybe a small organization with maybe only 100,000 turnover or 200,000 turnover wouldn't necessarily get the leverage. If they're part of a network and the turnover is more like 500,000 or whatever, then obviously people sit up and listen. So again, I don't want to say too much about Omar because it's just another example, especially specifically focusing on Black mental health within our communities. The funding so far has been funded through the NHS. I've personally put some money into it as well to get it started, but I know a lot will come out of it because there is a hell of a lot of work to be done around well-being and mental health as it relates to Black communities, and it's a massive industry, absolutely huge in terms of the amount of money that's generated around our emotional, psychological well-being or lack thereof.
And just to ask, Viv, really quick one. Your mic is echoing a little bit.
Yes.
Is there anything you can do with that? It's kind of echoing because you're saying some really good stuff.
I'm not sure why that's happening. I've not had that before. It's really weird.
Try it now.
Hello?
Okay, still echoing, but yeah, let's give it a go.
Oh, that's really strange. Yeah, I've never. Oh, I think it's gone.
Okay,
oh, no,
I think
a little bit. It's there just a little bit.
Okay.
Let me turn it down a bit. See if that helps. Maybe.
Yeah, let's try it now.
Yeah, it sounds better from my end.
Yeah, it sounds a bit better. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. So let's move on. Actually, just to confirm, we can see we've got David Weaver, who's the president of the British Association for Counsellors and Psychotherapists there. We've got Lord Kamlesh Patel, who's the chair of Social Work England, both good friends of mine. And we've got Jackie Dyer for Black Thrive. These are individuals who are real heavyweights within the mental health and social well-being sector. So we're working very closely with them. They're advising us around the development of the network. We've got comms in there. If you go down just a little bit, the other direction. Yeah, okay. Bit more. Yeah, some more. So we've got Pete there, who's the vice president of the Washington Post. And if you go down to more, and then on the top left-hand corner, we've got Ete, who is the CEO of Branded Engine, which is one of the biggest digital media marketing and branding companies in the world, offices all over the world, maybe 100 countries or so. So, again, we're constantly looking at how we get the right set of individuals around our table on our side, so we've got the right expertise in order to deliver on what needs to be done. We've already drawn down £300,000 to develop this digital platform and some specialist training for key individuals in our community. And we're in the process of negotiating another £500,000 in partnership with Mind and a couple of other specialist organisations to provide training in the community that's more African-centred and, as a result, more congruent with our needs. So we see an issue, we think about how best to address it. We then identify the specialists and the experts that we might require in order to make it happen. We design the concept of it, and then we bring the right partners together to execute on it. So it's just the same formula over and over again. And we show who we've got involved. That increases the level of confidence that people have in what it is we're bringing to the table. So let's move to the next slide.
And just to ask, so with Omar, 2 questions. When does it go live, and how can I, as a young black boy, young black man, get involved with this?
Good. It goes live in Black History Month.
Okay.
Or both the Omar initiatives that are rolling out and the Black Men for Change initiatives that we're developing and rolling out will go live in Black History Month. And the reason behind that is because I really got frustrated with Black History Month because it was always about the past and our young people couldn't engage with it. To me, we should be using Black History. We know Black History Month is every month. But if we've got a specific month where we're celebrating history, then it should be to bring new seed into existence or to celebrate the work that we've done in the year before. So that's why those 2 things have been launched then. And then to answer the second part of your question, we're providing initiatives and programs that are about self-development and empowerment in local areas, and increasingly that will spread out, and that's where the young people can get involved. You can go and get the opinion and find out about expertise and other opportunities that are available.
Brilliant, thank you. And parents, how can parents get involved?
Same thing again. There are, so if you take the British Association for Counsellors and Psychotherapists, it's got something like, I don't know, the figure's gone out of my head. We've got about 20,000 members, therapists, counsellors and therapists. Only 200 of them are black.
Wow.
So one of the specific things that we're doing through Omar is working with the NHS to review how they train up psychologists and psychotherapists so that we can get more of our young people into those professions and those careers.
Sure.
Sadly, it's a growth industry because of 4IR. The fourth industrial revolution means that more and more people have been made redundant, don't have purpose. And that's adversely impacting on their mental well-being. And we're going to need more specialists to be able to provide the necessary support, as much in a preventative way as a reactive and treatment-orientated way. And when it comes to our community, we continue to be disproportionately represented in terms of suicide, in terms of the numbers of young black boys and men that have sectioned and heavily medicated rather than being prescribed social prescribing and talk therapy. So we want more therapists, counsellors, and so on and so forth, and we're working to provide the skills and the resources necessary for that to happen. It does not make sense for the millions of pounds that are set aside to supposedly meet the needs of the black community in regards to talking therapy goes to individuals who are not best placed to meet our needs because they don't really understand where we're coming from.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, thank you for that.
Beautiful. All right. Then we've got Power the Next. So we have a tech expo that we run in Uganda annually. This year it will probably be blended, so 80% online, 20% on the ground. This year we were intending to take 100 professionals and investors from the black community in the UK over to Uganda to be a part of that event. But that won't now happen, and depending on what happens with COVID, we'll take a small delegation over there and deliver a much smaller event. But that's really important because We have to think globally and act locally. It doesn't make sense for us in the UK to just be restricted to this small island with 62 or 3 or million or so individuals, with a very, very small proportion of those numbers representing the African and Caribbean heritage communities. We have to think globally. Our opportunities economically for us as adults, but even more importantly for our children, are going to be located elsewhere and increasingly on the African continent. The conceptual West knows this. Sadly, again, it tends to be individuals within our own community, including the leadership, that doesn't understand this. And because of their lack of understanding, they're not sharing that information with our communities. Make reference to 5IR in here. Fifth Industrial Revolution is not actually after 4IR. It runs parallel. 4IR talks about how we use technology to streamline processes, take the humans out of the process, but in doing that, you're making them redundant. 5IR focuses much more on how technology can work for us. Health tech being one great example. All right. So again, I don't want to say too much about that, other than that it speaks to my real passion, which is technology and finance. So financial services sector is a massive area of opportunity for career development and also economic empowerment within our communities. And we don't have enough of our young boys and girls knowing that there's opportunity for them in banking and fintech and blockchain and all these other areas that are still too exclusively populated with individuals that don't look like us. So it's twofold. It's working through the African Union's 2063 agenda, which I won't get into too much because maybe a little bit too technical for this conversation, and also the explosion of technology that many African countries are leading. Kenya being one example that springs to mind, but also Rwanda and Nigeria and others. It's important that we make sure that our children are connected with their country of original origin, as well as the countries that their parents may have come from. And also, you know, as Black British, because there's nothing wrong with them being patriotic to the UK, as well as Africa, and as well as the country that their parents came from, if it's somewhere other than there. So again, I won't say any more about that. Let's see what else you've got for me. It's, I'm just checking my time as well.
Yeah, and just also for you that are listening, so listen to the strategy behind this. So sometimes you might think, yeah, but how come we're not doing anything about this? How come we're not talking about doing stuff in Africa? Where are people that are doing stuff about things that are really important to our community? This is that conversation. So the things that Viv is talking about, this is it. These are the answers.
Somebody said to me,
just to ask, if you don't, it's okay. Do you have headphones handy by any chance? If you don't, it's fine. Headphones that you can plug into your laptop or into your device.
Yep.
Because somebody from my team just said that that might work. Let's see what happens.
How does that sound?
Keep talking.
Yeah, how does that sound?
Sounds. We done it.
Hello.
Yeah, cool.
Hello.
Oh, did you do it? Okay. It sounds a bit better. Yeah, let's keep going and let's see what happens.
All right. Okay, no problem. So you know, the Power the Next breaks into 4 bits. We have a delegation that goes over. The delegation is interested in investment. They're also interested in making connections and partnerships internationally. So there's a whole program around meeting their needs to get to meet ministers, meet successful business people, both in Uganda, Rwanda, Kenya, and so on and so forth. We also have the Tech Expo piece, which is again where startup businesses and so on and so forth receive intensive training, coaching, and support. And then we have a mini conference in the morning towards the end of the 4-week event, where we produce a report around where we think things are going around technology. And these are some of the speakers that will be there. You can see that there's the president of Uganda, Lord Simon Woolley. We've got Jonathan Akwe. He's probably second most powerful, influential Black man on the planet when it comes to tech, digital branding and marketing. We've got Ruth, who's advisor to government around financing and tech, banking. And she runs one of the main telecom companies. And we all use phone to do business and trade and everything else. So telecom is key to all of that. And again, why I want to show you those people is that Black Sox realized that money is important, but what's even more important than money is the connections, what we call social capital. Who you know, who knows you, and how and what technology, sorry, what intelligence you're able to get a hold of as a consequence of those connections. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, the money then comes alongside that, as well as your influence to change things within your community. So I want to put those up as the examples. And then probably I think I've got 2 more slides after that, and then I'll round up. We have an award event celebrating the key influencers in terms of technology on the continent. And people always like a good celebration. And also it's important for us to celebrate the rising stars. There are lots of these events in the UK. In fact, we launched one a few years back. We wanted to establish an awards event in East Africa that has international reach. And that's where that component from Power the Next comes from. Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to put that one down, and
on a photo, because I'm going to get into, as I bring this one into the harbour, I want to just touch on the education bits and a little bit about the George Floyd and most recently the Jacob Black environment that we're in.
Yeah.
So why have I gone through all of this? I have deliberately not gone for a straight, presentation that's specific to kind of professional development, personal development type themes. I wanted to show some of the stuff that we're doing. I want people to, watch these things, get involved, and in so doing, inspire and motivate their children, get access to the resources that their children require. In the world that we're in, all the key things that are going to get your children where they need to go over the next 10 to 15, 20 years are there. So access to financial services. I'm an advisor to the Financial Conduct Authority. We've got key individuals in banks and so on and so forth that are part of our networks. Technology, same thing. All the key influencers in terms of technological development in the UK, Black-led or otherwise, we're connected to. In fact, I'm advising Google right now around a big piece of strategic development that they've embarked on in the UK. We've got people like Izzy from Foundervine. We've got Martin from Black Tech UK. It's key. You go to the World Economic Forum and look up, the top 10 competencies and career opportunities over the next 20 to 30 years. They're all going to be around the kind of areas that we've been talking about. They're going to be on the African continent. They're going to be in relation to technology and fintech. They're going to be about soft leadership skills, that ability to build networks, build relationships, work collectively. Okay, and so everything I've been showing you relates to the key things that you're going to need to have in place going forwards. You need to have a heightened level of self-awareness, self-mastery. Means you need to personally know where you're coming from, as well as collectively. When they talk about decolonizing the Black curriculum, but it's also our own internal dysfunction and schisms that have been born out of how we were raised, our own early childhood experiences that we need to address. So that's where the Omar part comes into it. The Black male networks are key. If we want our young people to not be running up against each other, we have to be demonstrating that as elders, and that's where Black Men for Change comes into play. Yes, it's doing work, but the optics of all these Black men working collectively is even almost as important, if not more important, than the actual work that it will be doing. And then, as I've said, the international stuff with Power the Next and facilitating those trips, running alongside Power the Nexus, the work that we're doing through one of my companies called Aspire Education Group, taking young people abroad internationally to receive, again, top-end learning and coaching during the summer periods, and then bringing that back to the UK. They have a much more heightened and disciplined sense of purpose going forwards, and then less likely to be distracted by the stuff that's around them in their specific postcode. These are all things that we're going to be bringing in 2021, 22, slightly delayed, obviously, as a consequence of COVID-19.
Yeah, I'm just bringing up the slides you sent me. Bear with me.
All right. Okay.
There we go. Okay,
now,
so this one.
Yeah, so
the one about African American.
Yeah. This is because obviously a lot of the propaganda that we're getting. I use the word propaganda because every piece of information you get, somebody's crafted that information and sent it out to you with an intention. Their intention was to influence you in some way or other. It was just not neutral. They had an intent in mind. So it is by its nature like propaganda. And you can have good or bad propaganda. It's not just negative. So this is a statistic regarding the States, and it shows you very clearly that Black people are being murdered wholesale in America. It has a long history of that lynching mindset that continues. And because we're in a global village and so on, that has a direct impact on our mental state in the UK, our young people and us. It continues to traumatize us and trigger us. And it's important that we understand it. Don't let people gaslight us into thinking it's not our issue, it's not our problem. We don't need to concern ourselves about it. We do need to be concerned. Our young people are being stopped and searched in larger numbers than anyone else. In fact, in the last year, 20% of nearly 25% of young Black men in London were stopped and searched. It's under the age of 25. Were stopped and searched. That is not acceptable.
What number again? 20.
It's a quarter. So that's a quarter. Yeah, young Black men in London were stopped and searched. And this is during COVID. People are on lockdown. I mean, you really got to put in the work to get those kinds of figures at a time when people are less accessible because they're less likely to be out and about. Yes, some of those numbers will be as a result of duplication, more, individuals being stopped more than once, but those figures are still horrendous. And it's the same with exclusions and all the rest of it. We know the figures are disproportionate across the board. How can you have such a small community in the UK and still have our young people represent over 50% of the individuals incarcerated? It's no way of justifying it. So my point is, do not allow anyone to gaslight you into thinking it's a problem with us, or we're exaggerating and things aren't the way they're being presented. They're very, very, very bad. And I think it's so important for us as parents to understand this, so that we mobilize our resources, we connect up with the right individuals and organizations like ADES and the other networks that I've made reference to, so we have the ability to provide our children with the skills and the support that they require. We can give them the opportunities that are wealthier and less discriminated against white counterparts are able to provide. This is what it's about. It's not about anything else. It's very, very straightforward. Now, in the little intro film piece that I did ahead of this, I talked about keeping yourself well, and I talked about the 5 ways model in relation to it. And the main one that I highlighted, the others continuing to learn, and so on. But the one that I want to highlight right now, and you can look up the 5 ways model. It's very well documented, and because it's a big piece of research that was done globally over a period of time, identifying the 5 things you need to do to keep well. So let me just fix on 2 that link in as I bring this into the harbor with 1 minute to go. First thing it says, right, be well networked. Don't be somebody that functions in isolation. Be well networked with good people, people that bring quality into your life. And then be the kind of person that brings quality into other people's lives. All I've done is amplified all of that in terms of our networks. We're networked all over the planet. I've only given you a snippet of what we're about in terms of networking. And then the other one was this idea of giving as a way of keeping you healthy. It comes back to you. It's been scientifically proven to do so. So my tithing is 10% a year of my own financial income. And then I also tithe sweat equity, time and expertise out into my community. And it continues to reward me, not just in the way that I feel when people coming back and saying if it wasn't for Viv and so on and so forth, but also financially. I literally make money from giving money and coaching individuals. Jonathan Akwe, I said he's number 2 in the world. He came to me at 19 years of age. So he's in a position where he's able to direct opportunities to me and intelligence and so on and so forth that translates into hard cash. All right. And then the last bit is around the education piece. I did have a slide around the national survey that we're carrying out through Aspire Education at the moment, that we encourage you and urge you to sign up to as parents and as young people. Please bring it to your parents' attention and the adults around you. It's our opportunity to have our say about what we want to see in place within the schools and the colleges and the universities to make sure our young people get the support that they require. We turn up at university in greater disproportionate numbers than anyone else, so it's a positive, but we fall out in larger numbers, especially our black boys. Right? They do not finish. And then those who do finish are least likely to secure the kind of income, if they get a job at all, that reflects the skills that they've been able to acquire. So we have to mobilize in order to ensure that we get ours and our children get what they deserve. Thank you. So the link for the survey, again, my brother, I'll provide for you to circulate to everybody.
Yeah, I've actually got that already. So yeah, the last thing that Viv spoke about is a survey, and this survey is literally about feedback from our community in relation to education. So one part is for parents and carers. So
can I jump in? So let me just make this point. So they set aside a £1 billion tuition budget, right, to support those individuals that have been out of school and are going to need additional support. That money now has been chopped up and given to organizations to provide those tuition resources, right? No black organizations were invited to tender for those contracts. It wasn't until we began the survey, wrote letters to the top individuals that they said, oh no, of course, if you want to, whatever. And reluctantly, they've invited us to put together a consortium in order to bring a bid for one of those contracts. And you have to be able to provide support for at least 500 individuals in order to be eligible. And we know the whole range of criteria that they will put in place. Now, if we hadn't done any of what we're talking about, starting with the survey, we would not have got a look in. Sorry, bro.
No. So what we'll do is we're going to send an email out to our network. So those of you that registered for this event, we're going to send you an email with the survey to fill in. It's a great opportunity for our voices to be heard and for us to talk about the things that we want and the things that impact us. So please, it's an opportunity to engage. Don't be a spectator.
Don't be a spectator.
For us to really get involved. Like I was saying yesterday, we're running about, say, 2 minutes over for this section, but this is really important. So the way that I think about it is, so I'm a football fan, and there's at least 5 different vantage points, at least 5. So there's one that you've got of the players that are actually on the pitch. So they're playing the game. They're passing left, passing right, tackling. So that's one vantage point. You've got another view of those that are on the sidelines. So maybe they're in a dugout or they're warming up. So they've got a different viewpoint. You've got a viewpoint of those that are in the stands watching the game. You've got the viewpoint of those that are at home watching the game. And then there's the viewpoint of those that don't even know that a game is taking place. They're not even aware of it. Don't be that last person. Don't be in that place. The place to really be is to be on the pitch and literally influencing and talking about things that's important to you and that's important to us. Because if you don't do it, someone else will do it for you, and they don't have your experiences and they don't have your best interests at heart. So this survey is a chance for you to get on the court and to express and talk about what's important to you. Viv and his team are liaising with government and key people at a very, very high level. So the things that we say go straight into the avenue, and they get exactly what we mean, clearly. So we'll send that survey out. Please look out for it and please fill it out. If you're not yet on our network, go to the 1000 Black Boys website, pop in your email address, and we'll include you on that as well. But yeah, but that's an opportunity that's available for everyone. Viv, thank you very much for this. Much appreciated. Just really in closing, really quickly, if you could summarize, what would be your top 3 tips for people that are listening? You touched on a couple already, but what would be, or many things already, but if you could summarize number 1, number 2, number 3, things that people should be doing.
I talk about leadership, ethical leadership, and break it down as follows. Make sure that you are involved in some kind of self-mastery, okay? Learning about yourself, understanding what drives you, motivates you, moves you forward. That's so important that you develop that leadership within yourself. As I said, I'm a qualified psychotherapist, and I'm also advised the British Association of Counselors and Psychotherapists. And a lot of people don't appreciate how important it is to get to grips with those early childhood experiences, issues around abandonment and rejection. They don't appreciate the extent to which it holds them back, that little negative voice in your head, and the extent to which it can be passed. Those negative energies, those negative comments and statements can impact the people around them, whether it be their partner or their children. So that's the first thing. Develop your own self-knowledge, self-mastery, get a PhD in you. The second one is to be a leader in your own home. I don't care if you're 5 years of age, 10 years of age, or the oldest person in that house. You must exercise leadership. So if you know, for example, the 5 ways model works, then exemplify it in your home, promote it and sell it to everybody else in your home. If you know it makes more sense, at that time, there are 106,000 people being made unemployed already, and furloughs still in place. The government is still subsidizing that. When that ends, I think it's November or so, those figures are going to jump sharply, and it's going to disproportionately impact our community. So even if you benefit, or you're okay, it'll be people in your extended family, people on your street, in your immediate area. So again, think about how you can increase the security within your home, the safety within your home, economically and emotionally. And then thirdly, and just to kind of fast track this, it's to exercise leadership within your community. Get involved in something, whether it be a great organization like 100 Black Boys or any of the other initiatives that are out there. It demonstrates that you're exercising leadership and sets a great tone for your young people. It increases other opportunities for you to grow and build new relationships, because new relationships keep you relevant, right? Keeps you relevant. And it means that your economic base remains strong because it's diverse and constantly evolving. So, I mean, those are the 3 things that spring immediately to mind, and it's drawn from our LMP program, ethical leadership program that we run with corporates, local authority government, and central government, and everybody else internationally. So they're the things that spring to mind.
Thank you very much, Viv. So Viv meant to say 1,000 Black Boys. So that's us.
No, what did I say? Yeah, 1 million. 1 billion.
1 million. Let's do it. So yes, so those are really powerful things. We've got it up on our screen. For those of you that are watching this another time, those are the really key, powerful points from a very influential person within our community that you might not see often, but a lot of the things they get up to has an impact on you. So Viv, real pleasure to have you on. Thank you very, very much. And have a brilliant rest of your bank holiday weekend. And yeah, like we'd say at Get Hench, be your awesome and let's transform the world.
Yes, sir. You're doing great things, you and your team. Looking forward to working much more closely going forwards.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Viv. See you later.
Take care.
Right, so thank you all for listening to that. So I know that was not so much about motivating and inspiring you, but that has its place. This was really much more about strategy and about really key things that you can get involved with. And also really importantly, for you to see what people within our community are doing. So you can see that people are not just sitting around and waiting for things to happen or waiting for things to get better, but they're actively doing something about it. And I hope that encourages you as well to go and do something about the things that you're passionate about. So don't wait for things to happen. Don't wait for things to magically get better. Go and do something about it. Get involved. So next person I'm going to bring on, this person spoke at the last 1000 Black Boys events, and inspiring human being that's doing great things. And they launched in the space of a few weeks, 2 weeks, they launched a mentorship project for young people within 2 weeks. So this guy runs different businesses, but they did this within 2 weeks. And it's had a huge impact. So we're bringing him back to talk about what's happened and also to talk about what's next, and also tips that he can give to Black boys and young Black men that you can take into the rest of 2020. So here comes Tunde. Tunde, you said, how are you doing today? You all right?
I'm well. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Brilliant. It's great to be here once again. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
No, my pleasure. My pleasure. So thanks for being on. Thank you for being on. And just to ask, so just give us for those that didn't see the last event, or maybe those that have forgotten, tell us a bit about you. Who are you? What do you do? And why do you do it?
Sure. So my name's Tunde Yusuf. I'm 28 years old. I guess society would call me an entrepreneur. I've been starting and running my own businesses for almost 8 years now, with relative success. I now have a property business which buys and renovates properties. And throughout this year, the pandemic, lockdown, I realized that like Viv said earlier, and I'm really glad he said that, I also took it on myself and I said, what am I actually doing for my community? How am I helping others around me, younger people? And that's how the mentor circle, came about. Exactly what Viv said. If we want to make change, we have to sometimes take it on ourselves to, be the person who leads some change.
Brilliant. Brilliant. I mean, for those that are listening, yet again, just if you're passionate about something, go after it. Don't leave it for somebody else to do it for you. Don't wait for BBC News or Sky News or ITV to give you the solutions. You go and make a difference. And there's organizations like ours that's out there, the different organizations that Viv mentioned, the people that spoke yesterday, Tunde's team. We're here for you. We're here to definitely make a difference. So if there's something that you want to make a difference to, go and do it. Don't wait for anybody. Go and take it on. And also importantly, look for who you can partner with so you can go far. So thank you for highlighting that point again today. That's a really great point to make. And also, so tell us about Mentor Circle. When was it? How was it? What happened?
Sure. So the Mentor Circle, we launched it as a concept, as an initiative, as an idea, middle of June. Then we basically opened it up for applications. So we had around about 3 weeks of applications. And then we started what we called a summer boot camp. So it was a summer program for 18 to 25-year-olds who wanted to get ahead in their business, get ahead in their career, and basically go from where they are now to a better version of themselves. So that started on the 8th of July, and it ran for 6 weeks up until the 20th of August. So it was a brilliant program. We had 250 plus young people involved and participating in the program, which was fantastic.
And how long did it take you to set this up?
Sure. So the Mentor Circle was set up around in about 14 to 15 days. So you could say 2 weeks. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So did you have anything else to do with your time?
Absolutely. Businesses, income, all sorts going on. And it was one of my points that I really wanted to bring to this session is we have to, as Black men, Black boys, we have so many things going against us. We really have to utilize time as well as we can. And I feel like too many of us are letting time slip through our hands. We have 16 hours in a day, and that might sound completely a pointless topic to touch on, but I think it's really important. If you sleep for 8 hours, you have 16 hours, right? And in that time, you can do so much if you really, really, really make the most of the minutes that you have.
Awesome. That's a really great way to look at it. Literally, like waking hours, 16 hours. What are you going to do with it?
What are you going to do with it? Yeah.
So, how many other businesses do you run?
Right now, I would say that I'm involved with is 3. So 3 businesses that I'm deeply involved with, which all pull me in different directions. A property business, an e-commerce business, and then also a consultancy business.
And within that time scale, you still made time in your 16 hours of waking up to launch a project for 18 to 25-year-olds.
Absolutely.
To give them better prospects in life.
Yes.
Why did you do that?
Why? Because it felt very important to me. I feel like there's so many people out there like myself who would say, we've had tough upbringings, we've had some relative success now in business, and I feel like we can all sometimes forget, others that are now starting on that journey. So for me, it was a lot of self-reflection. Viv mentioned, self-reflection, and I think that the lockdown period allowed us all, hopefully, to reflect on what we were really doing to help others more so than just ourselves. So it was something that I'm extremely passionate about. I'll find the time to do so as much as I can, always. And to be honest, you get a lot of gratification and satisfaction out of actually taking time away to help others and give back.
That's brilliant. And so for Mentor Circle, what's next?
Sure. So the intention is to launch a second follow-up program next year, maybe spring or summer of next year. But even beyond launching the next bootcamp, which will be, again, another 6-week intensive program, throughout September, October, November, we've recorded most of the sessions from the previous bootcamp. We intend to release that across YouTube and Spotify so people can listen or watch in whatever format works for them. Brilliant. And generally, we just want to grow the brand of the Mentor Circle. We want to highlight the great work that some of our mentors are doing in their own career, in their own businesses, because I feel like it's important, especially in the Black community, that we're aware, firstly, of all of the success that's happening around us. There's so many successful young Black British business owners and professionals, and the Mentor Circle, first and foremost, wants to shine a light on what they do, so that you can at least be aware that there's people out there who have a similar background, similar name, similar situations to me who are flourishing. And I feel like that's really important for young people to bear in mind.
Brilliant. So if I'm a young Black boy, young Black man, and I want to get hold of that information, how can I get hold of it?
Sure. So look us up online. Yeah, if you Google the Mentor Circle, you'll find us. Likewise on Instagram. Instagram's probably the best way. So just follow @the Mentor Circle, and that's where we share all of our updates and everything to do with the Mentor Circle.
Brilliant. And just if you need to know, so we already have Tunde's details on our website. So you can reach out to the Mentor Circle by going to 1000blackboys.com, and on there you will see information from our speakers from our last event. Tunde was one of them. So his details are still there. Reach out to them so they can give you really powerful information as an 18 to 25-year-old. They're talking about, I saw an article about 3-4 months ago, and it was saying that it was really dire. It was like bad news central. It was terrible news. But it was something like 25-year-olds prospects are going to be so badly hit that they will struggle to do what the previous generation did. Something like that. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
That's pure doom and gloom. And there was no possibility for anything else. There was no, this is what you can do about it. None of that stuff. It was just this bad news is terrible. Like your life is over. That kind of thing. And then on to the next news. I kind of thought, why would you do people with that kind of news? Why?
Absolutely.
So don't sit there and listen to that poisonous, garbage, McDonald's type news. I use McDonald's deliberately.
Yeah.
sorry, but I use it deliberately. So you can reach out to the mentor circle. You can follow them on social, watch the videos, inspire your mind. Here's a really powerful thing to be aware of, that human beings, we take actions based on how we see the world. So how we see the world determines the actions that we take.
Yeah.
So a simple example is about 3-4 weeks ago, it was really hot. You looked outside and you wore certain clothes before you left your house because it looked hot outside. So you saw the world as being hot, so you dressed appropriately. Today is not so hot. So you look outside and therefore you dress appropriately before you leave the house. So how you see life determines the actions that you take. Now here is the kicker. What determines how you see life? One of the powerful things is the information that you expose yourself to. The information that you consume determines how you see life and therefore determines the actions you take. So simple equation, information that you expose yourself to determines the actions that you take, period.
Absolutely.
So if you're listening to really negative news about the economic prospects, the depression, the recession, and it's doom and gloom, and then the government go and mess up A-levels and GCSEs and they tell you that's all bad, there's a way out of it. You can reach out to organizations like us. You can reach out to what Tunde and his team are doing at the Mentor Circle, and they'll give you the material. And also, if you want, this material is going to be available on our Facebook. It's going to be on our YouTube and our Twitter. Watch it, inspire yourself. You can play back yesterday. Watch it with some friends, inspire yourselves. You do that with TV and with computer games. Do that with this. Impact this. Today, anything you want to say about that?
I completely agree with you. I feel like we're in a world now where you can either feel sorry for yourself and you can look at the world in, a bit of a negative light, which, don't get me wrong, there are terrible things happening, but at the same time, it doesn't help, pitying ourselves or, being worried about, a lack of prospects or lack of opportunities. If anything, that just means that we need to get better. We need to get sharper. We need to be more focused. We need to be clearer on our goals. And with all of that in mind, you should be able to still succeed despite the recession or a tough economy.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you. And also, just tell us a bit about your other businesses. So let's say so you're 28, right?
Yeah.
When did you start off in business?
I've always been in business for as long as I can remember. So I think from even my late teens, I was trying to, start businesses and make money. And to be honest with you, Ade, that came about because I saw that growing up in a Nigerian household, a lack of money always brought stress, or it brought difficulties, or it brought challenges. So from age 17, 18, I always thought if I can add money to the equation, stress will reduce, basically. So I had a very sort of clear mindset that I wanted to make money in order to resolve some of the issues that we were facing whilst growing up. So I've been in business for quite some time now, at least 10 plus years. I'm 28. It's a default setting for me now. It's all I've known. I've never really had, a full-time employed position or anything like that. So yeah, just from a passion for business, a want to make money, and a desire to succeed is what's led me to what I'm doing now.
Awesome. And just to ask, you mentioned this when we did our Instagram live last week.
Yeah.
But just to ask you again, so what would you say your top 3 tips for Black boys and young Black men that are listening?
Yeah.
Also resonate and connect with their parents as well.
Yeah.
And with the older siblings, with the sisters. So what would be your top 3 tips? So someone's looking at this coming, because people haven't really felt the pinch yet, because some people are they're still in furlough.
Yeah.
But there's this thing that's coming in terms of the economic impacts. And most people could be taken up by that.
Yeah.
So don't get taken up by that. What would you give them? What would be your top 3 tips?
Okay. Tip number 1 is you have to prioritize completely renovating the people you spend time with. This is highly, highly important, right? The same way you'd renovate a house, you get rid of the old, you add in the new. it's the same way you have to look at your social circle and your surroundings. So what I mean when I say this is, if 10 of your friends are not doing well and they're all struggling, you will be the 11th. And it's cliche to say so, but this has been proven by science. So the first thing that you can do is make new friends who are having success, who are succeeding, who are doing well. That will naturally rub off on you. That will naturally lead you to be more motivated, more encouraged, and generally make you more focused. So that's number one. Number two is just back to what I said earlier, which is having a really, really, really focused use of time. So the same way that we have 16 hours is the same way the millionaire has 16 hours. So we have to look at our time wisely and say, Monday to Friday, what are we doing? Even if we're unemployed, we can still be reading, we can still be listening to podcasts, we can still be doing an online course. There's so many things now with the amount of information that's readily available that there's no excuse to just be sitting around. We're in a difficult time because we have Netflix, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. These things can be used for bad or it can be used for good. You have to decide how you want to use them. There's a very fine line between using Instagram to follow pages that motivate you, that inspire you, that get you to think, versus pages that, make you look at the football scores non-stop or, whatever else is going on. So really have a complete, dedicated, focused use of the 16 hours that you have with every single day. And then my third point, and I feel like this is a problem that I definitely see amongst black men. We all have egos, we're all very proud, and in part that can be a great thing because you need that to deal with the challenges that life's going to throw at you. However, on the flip side, you never be too proud to ask for help. Never feel like your problem can't be helped by just sharing that with somebody else or talking to somebody else, reaching out to people like yourself, reaching out to people like myself, and anybody in your network. If you're really struggling, why struggle and spend a month struggling when you could easily pick up the phone to somebody and they could help you fix that problem in 30 minutes? I think too many people sit and internalize their problems and they just let them sit and weigh them down versus sharing it, finding people who can help you with those problems and deal with it to move on.
That's amazing. Thank you. I've just put those up as well. So that's really helpful stuff. So literally, number one is just renovate your friendship circle.
Yeah.
It sounds harsh.
Mm-hmm.
However, fast forward 10 years.
Yeah.
What's the consequence of hanging about with that group of people? What does it look like in 5 years? Fast forward 20 years, 25 years.
Yeah.
What is it? So what's the consequence of hanging about with that group of friends? There is research that shows that you are the sum of your 5 closest friends or your 5 closest associates.
Yeah.
In terms of earning potential, the kind of things you do, but they measure this in terms of earning potential, and human beings are an average of their 5 closest friends.
Absolutely.
So Tunde's suggestion is to renovate that friendship circle, jazz it up, add people to it that would inspire you, motivate you, take you forward in life, take you towards your goals. And I always say this in terms of goals and dreams. We all have these incredible ideas that we want to bring to life. We have these dreams and hopes. We've got them for a reason. They're ours. Don't give up on them. Do not give up on them. Have people around you that will just essentially motivate and inspire those goals. They'll put some juice in it. They will charge it up. So if you've got friends around you, people around you who, whenever you say something, oh, I want to start a new business, and they're like, nah. But that's what they say consistently. Yeah. Or it could be, I want to lose some weight. No, I don't think you could do that. Or
don't bother. They'll say, don't bother.
Yeah, like they always pull you down. So people around you either charge you up or they pull you down. There is no in between. Even people that are just stagnant, that don't do anything in your life, they're pulling you down.
Yeah.
So people either charge you up or pull you down. If people, everybody around you is pulling you down, you've got to just literally let go of some people. You have to do it. Put those around you that basically pull you up and just like drive you forward. And then the second thing that today said is make focused use of your time. Be effective with your time. Make focused use of your time. It's important. We've got the same number of hours in a day as a millionaire, as a billionaire, a Jeff Bezos, all these people. But they use their time for certain things. What can you do with your time to make a difference? What can you do with your time to drive towards the things that you want in your life?
Yeah.
And the last thing is, watch your ego. Never be too proud to ask for help, ask for support. It makes a huge difference. It's a big difference. And as a coach, that's something that I always look out for. I've got 5 coaches. You just met one of them. So Viv coaches me with what we do with 1,000 Black Boys and how we make a real impact in people's lives. So who are the people around you that you can listen to and you can let them talk straight to you? Not to sugarcoat it, but they'll tell you the truth.
Yep.
Brilliant. And yeah, anything else you want to say to us before you leave us today?
Honestly, I feel like we're heading into a very, very, very strange time. It's one of the strangest economies that I think we're all going to see in our lifetimes. With that in mind, there will be winners and there are going to be losers. So look for opportunities. If you're seeing that certain things are changing, I'll give you an example. The retail space is absolutely, taking a massive hit. If you have a retail job and you're about to lose that retail job, don't feel sad. Maybe you need to look at how you can start a business on Amazon, right? So in any sort of disappointment, there can be some opportunity if you're looking for the opportunity. So be really aware of what's going on around you. Look for changes, try and spot what's on the horizon, and you can definitely still succeed despite everything happening in the economy.
Brilliant, brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Tunde. And so tell us, what's next for you? What's next?
For me, absolutely. So for me, it's just carrying on with business. I'm looking for my next property deal. I'm growing my Amazon business in the same way that I just recommended. I really recommend that everybody on this chat consider looking at a business on Amazon or looking at an online business. So my intention is to grow the online business and then use the profits from that to invest in property. So that's it for me. And also growing the mentor circle, helping as many people as possible, being a role model, being positive, being active, and generally just being somebody that people look up to and say, if he can do it, I can do it too.
Perfect. So somebody's inspired and they want to get hold of you.
Yeah.
We've got your details, so they can reach out to you. You're on Insta, you're on LinkedIn.
Yeah. Everything. So Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. You've got my name on the screen, Tunde Yusuf. Google me. You'll find me on one of the platforms. Feel free to send me a message. I'll be more than happy to have a call with anybody on this chat who wants to talk, or if they want me to offer them some advice.
Awesome. Well, Tunde, brilliant to have you on. Thank you very much. You're doing brilliant work.
Thank you so much.
Mentor Circle, and well done for all the lives that you touched and that you inspired with you and your team.
Thank you.
And yeah, just maybe for next time. But who were some of the interesting mentors on the Mentor Circle? Maybe one or two like really interesting ones.
Emmanuel Asuko. Everybody check him out. He's a financial advisor. He's doing great work now with Channel 4 and the BBC. Loads of different mentors. You can have a look on our Facebook page. Stephanie Taylor, TJ Atkinson. Anybody that you see on the Mentor Circle website, they've been vetted by me. It means they're extremely great at what they do. Extremely talented people, mainly from the Black community. So please research them or reach out to them all also. And I'm sure they'll be more than happy to hear from you.
Awesome. Well, Tunde, thank you very much. Once again, and well done. So we'll speak again very, very soon.
Thank you. Take care, everyone. Have a great Saturday and appreciate the time. And well done again, Ade, for a great event.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Brilliant. So that was Tunde. Brilliant to have him on. And thank you for those of you that are on. I hope you're getting value from this. If you are on, it'd be great. Look, I've been sat here since like 3:30. Send me some comments. What's going on? How are you doing out there? How are you finding the session? Or are you watching the Arsenal-Liverpool game? Is that what's going on? I know Arsenal are playing in the Charity Shield against Liverpool. Don't tell me the score. If you dare tell me the score, there'll be wahala. So I'm going to watch it later on. So don't tell me the score about Arsenal-Liverpool. I'm actually also going to bring on a Liverpool fan very shortly. So we're both not watching the game. We're both here to inspire you and inspire your life. Isn't that interesting? But we're going to get some of your comments and get how you're finding the session. And if you're watching it another time as well, it'd be great to get your comments when you do watch it. So at some point between now and when we finish, so we're currently planning on finishing at 6:30. Now, this is dependent on if we can find somebody who needs coaching. Somebody who needs coaching, I will bring you into the live with me. So we'll send you a link, bring you into the live with me, and just talk about what's currently going on with you in your life, and I'll give you some support. So we'll have like a conversation, and I'll just I can just inspire you and support you with what's going on for you in your life. Why? Because I love people. We love people. Whatever you're dealing with, where we can support, come live with me and let's do some coaching. So if you are interested, the team are going to put my email address into the chat. And if you're interested in getting some coaching, email us back. Let us know what's going on, what you need support with, and we'll pick somebody to come live. Yeah, don't be shy. Don't do shy. So this next person that I'm bringing on is this is actually one of my coaches as well. Another one of my coaches. This guy is, for me, he's one of the best personal trainers in the country. With what I do with Get Hench, I've come across and interacted with lots of personal trainers. Some personal trainers, because they've got great physiques and they look good with their biceps and everything, they will tell you how to work out exactly how they work out. They won't tailor it for you. They won't listen to you. They will tell you lots of stuff and then you get injured. I know because I got that a few years back, right? And I came across Dennis. And Dennis is, in my experience, the best personal trainer I've come across. For me, is the best. Why I say one of the best in Europe is because I haven't met all the PTs in Europe, but this guy is up there. He knows his stuff. And over the last 24 weeks, I've been on these online high intensity interval training sessions, and your boy Ademola Adeyeba has lost 4 stones. Yes, I have. Since the start of lockdown to right now, I'm 4 stones lighter, and it feels brilliant. So it's been because I've been on this guy's programs. So I'm going to bring one very, very shortly, and I will also find out what he's currently up to. And the reason why I've got a fitness and a personal trainer here is because fitness is huge. Impacts your mental well-being in a huge way. Dennis, how are you doing?
I'm okay, bro. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. I'm currently sat in a plant-based coffee shop in Ladbroke Grove.
Yeah, because you're doing something today, aren't you? You're doing something. We'll cover that. You're doing something in terms of is it carnival?
Yeah. So I'm a community engagement team leader, working with the Notting Hill Carnival. So basically, even though the carnival is cancelled, there's going to be a lot of people that are still going to come down, to just see what's up, see what's happening. Bring some drinks.
Like last year's carnival.
Catch the vibe, yeah. And so what our job is to kind of just to kind of inform them that there are a lot of online events that are going on that have been put on by Notting Hill Carnival, and that they can still be part of these events online, digitally, without exposing themselves or putting themselves and everybody else at risk by gathering in large numbers. So that's basically what we're out doing this weekend. There's an approximation of maybe 200,000 people that are probably gonna come down, maybe more. But
how many people?
200,000.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean during the carnival weekend, you get 10 million people. You get around 10 million people No, is it 10 million? No, sorry, you get around 2 million people attending Carnival over the bank holiday weekend, Sunday and a Monday. So
Okay.
so 200,000 is, you know, like a tenth of what would normally attend. Yeah, so it's still a large number. But yeah, so that's kind of what we're doing. So it takes a lot of skill, being able to engage with people in the public and you know, almost kind of be a party pooper, but in a nice way, you know.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Man, well, well done for doing that. So just again, just this is how generous this guy is. So Dennis, I say that you're one of the leading personal trainers in the UK. You're the best personal trainer I've worked with, just based on how you listen, how you compose plans, and how you engage and interact with people. And I'm of the opinion that more people should know you. Those of you that are out there that are watching this live or watching this later on, this is someone that you should know. You've got to know this person. He's worked with lots of people, transformed them physically and mentally. Something that's really interesting is he doesn't just deal with fitness, he deals with health and fitness. He deals with both. So Dennis, so tell us about you. Where did you start from? What's your story? How did you get to be where you are today? Yeah.
Right. So for me, fitness was almost like a natural progression. Growing up, I was very into sports. So I played. Sorry, camera. I did every sport going. So I played football at a high level. I did athletics at a high level. I did karate at a high level. I even played cricket for the school team, basketball, you name it. I'm 5'5", but I was on the school basketball team. You know, I represented my school in the my borough's swimming trials as well. I represented the district in 100 meters, represented the district in 1,500 meters as well. So so I did it all with regards to sports. But I was also very interested in. I was also good at the academic side of it. So when I turned to 16, when I got to 16 and had to make a decision whether to go to the sporting route or the academic route, I was a little bit conflicted. You know, coming from an African family, you know, it's important to, the academic side is really important. Going to university, getting a degree. So I opted to go to sixth form, study A levels. I did A levels in biology, chemistry, and physics. By the way, what's the sound like? Can you hear me properly?
Yeah, that sounds fine. It would just be great to see your full head, if that's okay.
There you go. Let me. I'll see. I'll tilt it back a little bit. That's it. There you go.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I studied A levels. I did A levels in biology, chemistry, and physics. You know, and in the end, I ended up going to university to study a sports therapy degree. And it's while I was at university, I was in my second year, or going into my second year at university. That's when my second daughter came along. So I got two daughters, a 22-year-old and a 16-year-old. Amazing.
So you got 22,
22, yeah, and 16.
You look like you're 28.
Thank you very much.
29.
Yeah, man, that's health and fitness and good lifestyle. We'll do that. We'll help you with that. So so I fell into personal training because I needed to find full-time work, to support my daughter, my kids, and I couldn't get any more hours at the gym that I was working at as a gym instructor.
Mm-hmm.
So I went along to Fitness First in Leighton, and they were willing to take me on as a personal trainer. And but the problem was I had a level 2 qualification. I needed to have a level 3 qualification. So I had to do like an audition for 13 minutes as an audition with the general manager to find out if I was good enough to be taken on as a personal trainer with a level 2 qualification. And when I turned up to do it, the general manager was busy on a conference call, So I had to train the health and fitness manager. And 10 minutes into the audition, he said, you know what, the job is yours if you want it. So so that's when my journey started. You know, I had a newborn daughter, starting in a new industry, and yeah, it was up to me to either sink or swim. You know, make it work or not. So and that's how my journey started in health and fitness.
So how long have you been in the health and fitness field for?
I've been in health and fitness since 2001. So we're looking at 19 years, nearly
Wow.
20 years. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And for those of you that are listening, so there's a book called Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. The book talks about how much time it takes to be an expert at something, and it's usually about 10,000 hours. So if you do something for 10,000 hours, your brain patterns get it, and it makes you an expert in that field. And I calculated it. You can be an expert in something in about 5 years. About 5 years of continuous training and development, you can do your 10,000 hours. So
Yeah.
Dennis has almost 20 years of personal training experience. So he's essentially an expert 4 times over.
Yeah. Master trainer. Yeah.
So he knows his stuff. He knows his stuff. And just so you can get the sense of the person that's on the line here. As Dennis, so let's talk about during the lockdown. People are at home.
Yeah.
Even right now, the gyms are open again, but it's not the same. There's all these like lines in the gym. There's like social distancing and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's all the news that's like really doom and gloom, and everything sounds like it's bad and the world's gonna fall apart.
Yeah.
Why should I, or for those that are listening, why should we, with all that's going on in our lives, make time for fitness? Like, why?
Right. So basically, even though gyms have been open again since the 25th of July, there's still a lot of people that are reluctant to go to gym. You know, no, understandably so. And obviously, there's a lot of gyms have reduced their capacity, and so yeah, so a lot of people still reluctant to go to gyms. Now, when the lockdown started, we're talking about 23 weeks ago, right? Now, 23 weeks ago, when I found out that we were all going to be put under lockdown and gyms were closed, I decided there and then that I was going to start doing online live sessions, fitness sessions. I started out doing twice a day, HIIT sessions at home where you didn't need any equipment. All you needed was a bit of space at home, a yoga mat or exercise mat, a bottle of water, a towel, and maybe, you know, some dumbbells or a rucksack, you know, bottles of water that you can fill with water. So I decided that I was going to start doing that from the first week of lockdown, and I would do one session in the morning at 9 a.m. and I'd do another one at 6 p.m. in the evening. Now, the reason I decided that I was going to do that was because there was a lot of fear and anxiety. Right? There was a lot of fear and anxiety in the atmosphere. And yeah, a lot of people were afraid. A lot of people were anxious. There was a lot of uncertainty. So people weren't sure about what was going on, what was going to happen. And there was a lot of negativity as well. So I wanted to do something that would, for 45 minutes, half an hour to 45 minutes of the day, distract people or take people away from that fear narrative and that negativity that was being spun, and do something positive, you know, give something positive and give something back to the community where people could, you know, do something that was going to empower them, you know, something that was going to keep them active because they were sat at home all day. Some people furloughed, some people working from home, you know, something that was going to give people something to do and a good way to start the day. And a way to kind of stay connected because it was live, it was over social media. So people could interact with other people on the live sessions, interact with myself, you know, find ways of getting support and just kind of put together like a tribe of people and a group of people where we could kind of all go through this together as opposed to going through it on our own. And obviously with exercise, scientifically proven, but that doing half an hour of exercise or exercising will massively increase the endorphin release into your bloodstream, which will have a very positive effect on your mindset and your mental mood and just your mental state. Apart from the positive effects that it's going to have on your body, it has some very positive effects on your mind as well.
Brilliant. And so just from what Dennis just spoke about, so for those of you that are watching this now or watching this later on, picture the scene. For the last 23 weeks, we've been getting pretty much similar news from BBC, Sky, ITV, Channel 5, and all the other ones. And like I was saying with Tunde, so that information then shapes your perception of life, which then determines your actions. And a lot of people have been very depressed and down over this time. They've been very confused, angry, anxious, panicking. It's been really down for lots of people. A really powerful way to get out of that is to exercise. It sounds really simple, just to take on a type of routine to help you with that. So here's the science behind it. When you exercise, your body releases chemicals called endorphins. These endorphins interact with the receptors in your brain, and that reduces your perception of pain. When you're working out, something that was maybe painful when you first started, after a while becomes easier because the chemicals are now in your brain that make pain or impact your perception of pain.
Yeah.
And then these chemicals, endorphins, also trigger a positive feeling in the body similar to morphine. So similar to morphine. It just gives you that. It gives you that. And so I'm saying this because working out is a really powerful way to just change your perspective, boost your moods, impact your day, all of that. I mean, for those of you that are out there, have you ever had a time when you've been really tired? You're like, I'm really tired. And then you get yourself to go to the gym or you get yourself to work out. After the workout, you're pumped. The workout's finished. But hold on, about an hour ago, you were tired.
Yeah.
Because the chemicals now gone into your brain and it's just giving you this boost, this energy, this power. And taking that action allows you to just completely shift your perspective and boost
100%.
your
100%. That kind of lends itself to the principle of sowing and reaping. You know, the more energy you sow, the more energy you reap. When you exercise, even though you're expending energy, you are increasing your body's capacity to store more energy. You know, just like if you want to make more money, you have to invest money. You have to spend money to make more money. So with energy, if you want to have higher energy levels or more energy, you have to expend energy to increase your body's ability to store more energy or to be able to regain more energy. So once again, it's sowing and reaping, you know. So because you're sowing energy, you're going to reap back even more energy than you had before. So it's a universal principle. It's a spiritual principle that you can see happening when you get involved in physical activity, when you get involved in exercise. You know, when you exercise, your blood oxygen levels are increased as well. You know, so you're oxygenating your blood and oxygenating your cells. More blood flow to your brain, more blood flow to your muscles and your cells. And like I said, with that endorphin release, that's similar to, to a like you call it morphine. It's crazy, you know. So and that's why most times exercise can become addictive. And to be honest with you, if you're gonna have an addiction, being addicted to exercise, exercise will be a good one to have.
Awesome. That's really good. And also, so here's a practical step, right? So this is really practical. For those that are listening and you think, okay, I do want to do that. I want to get fitter. I could do with losing some pounds or wherever you're at. So Dennis has his next session online on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, the 1st of September. Wow. The first
We're there already, man.
From 9, so it normally starts between 9 a.m. and 9:15. The sessions will kick off from that time. It's going to be on Twitter. It's going to be on Facebook.
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
And Instagram.
Instagram. Yeah.
And you can come on for free. He's be charging you for this stuff.
Totally free of charge.
But he's made it open so people can get fit and not be depressed and beat up by the television and by the news and by their physical condition. So he's made that open to everyone. So you can come onto that. And he does that every day pretty much. Well, he does that Monday to Friday from 9 o'clock, like 9:15. We'll start between 9 o'clock and 9:15 for about an hour, including stretching.
Yeah.
So come on to that. Get fit. And it's not this Monday because it's Bank Holiday Monday and he's kind of doing some stuff, he's celebrating. But literally from Tuesday, jump on. Like, give it a go. That's available for you.
Yeah, and also this coming Saturday, in a week from today, Saturday the 5th of September, for those of you, I mean, I've been getting requests for the last 23 weeks since the lockdown, since we started the lives, and people are like, oh, the online sessions are great, I'm loving these, but can you do something in the park? Or do you do sessions, like, in-person sessions or sessions in the park? And I was like, no, I'd rather not do anything at the moment, but because there's been such a demand and people saying, it would be great if you could do something in a park where we could come along and, and mingle and kind of work out and engage with other people. And so I finally decided to give in. And I'm going to be holding my first ever outdoor boot camp, the Gym Guy boot camp, on Saturday, the 5th of September at Valentine's Park in Ilford at 2 p.m. It's on Eventbrite. If you look for the Gym Guy boot camp, it's on Eventbrite, and you can purchase tickets for that as well for this coming Saturday.
Awesome. So what you do, if you send us that link, we'll pop it onto the chat now, and we'll also we'll make it available on our website. Do that. People can actually just go into the link. And so this is Valentine's Park in Ilford, East London.
Yeah.
What time is it starting?
2 p.m. 2 p.m. till 3:30 p.m. We're gonna have yourself there. Hopefully, God willing, yourself. We're gonna have you there. We're gonna have another leading UK fitness presenter there, Miss Janine George, and Anna May, a top kind of mindfulness and mind and body instructor, a yoga instructor called Anna May. You can also catch her on the live session. She will join the session about halfway in after she finishes her yoga session, and she will take us through our stretching, relaxation, and mindfulness session that kind of helps you to kind of get centered and reconnecting, just kind of help with that mind-body connection as well. But it's great for relaxation and helping really bring everything together after the end of a really intense workout. Kind of helps you kind of get recentered and get resettled. So yeah, so it's going to be a great session for £10. You're getting 4 of Europe's leading, individuals in their field. So yeah, great value for money.
Awesome. I mean, just to say, I know it's like maybe it's more for me. It's like a personal. I'm not a big fan of yoga, but for those of you that are, there you go. For those of you that are not, Dennis also does other sessions, other stretches that are quite really useful. But yeah, but it's available. Valentine's Park on the 5th of September from 2 to 3:30 for £10. Wow, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
£10, man. £10
already.
Yeah.
And also, so let me ask you this as well, because you're doing these sessions, doing on the ones you're doing on Facebook and Instagram, and you generally love what you do. Okay, just kind of talk to someone there. If you've got any questions, please feel free to send them through. But the question I was going to ask you, if I've got your attention, is why do you do what you do?
Sorry, yeah, I'm just speaking to the young man at the coffee shop that I'm in. So I'm gonna have to relocate in about 5 minutes. But yeah, we're okay for now.
That's fine. And so just quickly tell us, why do you do what you do?
Right. The reason I do what I do is because it enables me to give back. It enables me to give back. It's my way of giving back and my way of sharing my I say my skill, my level of expertise, and my way of empowering people. I believe in educating, inspiring, and motivating individuals to be the best version of themselves that they can be. I believe that if everybody attains to and achieves the best version of themselves, the world will be a much better place. The reason the world can be a very dark place sometimes is because there's a lot of unhappy people out there. There's a lot of very unhappy souls. So the more fulfilled and happier individuals are, the much better world we're gonna have. So I use my skills and my knowledge and my ability in the best way that I can to empower people into becoming the best version of themselves and the most complete and fulfilled version of themselves that they can be. But my method is through exercise and doing a lot of kind of mental and mindset work as well to kind of help them to become the best version of themselves.
Awesome. That is very, very good. And yeah, so I know that you got to go very, very shortly.
Sure.
So but thanks for being on. Like, it's always definitely a pleasure. And yeah, so I'll definitely catch you Tuesday.
Yeah.
I want to probably do a session on Monday anyway. I watched last week's one.
That's it. That's what I did. Watch last week Monday's one, yeah, and do that. And guys, the great thing about these sessions is they're recorded. So we do the live, and the live session is recorded. So if you missed it, you can do it at a different time of the day. So Ade, will kind of message me at 3:30 in the morning saying, "Yeah, bro, great session. That was a tough one. I just completed it. That was a tough one." 1:30 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning. If you can't do it in the morning, you can't do it in the afternoon, you can't do it in the evening, you can do it first thing in the morning. So also, if there isn't a session on that particular day, you can go back to the previous week and do that session and follow it because it's available. It's available on my Instagram at the Gym Guy PT. It's available on my Facebook, the YouTube channel, the Gym Guy TV. It's also available on my Facebook page, Dennis Busulwa PT. So it's all available free of charge, accessible to you guys forever, really, until I take it down. But it's accessible to you guys.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And just thank you. So for that, so you got just a very generous and a giving heart. I just definitely get that you want to make a difference to people. And something that you say that you're there to motivate, inspire, and then something else.
And educate.
That's it.
Yeah,
so
inspire. Yeah, inspire, educate, and motivate. I feel that those are the three main things that are required. You've heard of dream, believe, and achieve, right? But in order to dream, right, you have to be inspired, right? You have to be inspired in order to dream. Believe. In order to believe, you need to be educated. You need information in order to believe, knowledge, and in order to achieve, you need to be motivated to achieve, and that's why I believe in inspiring, educating, and motivating. Once you're inspired, educated, and motivated, you'll be able to dream, you'll be able to believe, and you'll be able to achieve.
Awesome, man. No, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And just before you go, I'm going to ask you again, what are your top 3 tips? Your top 3 tips for people that are listening and watching.
My top 3 tips for people that are watching before I finish is, the top 3 tips for people watching is, guys, so the top 3 tips basically are, the first thing is, don't overthink it. When it comes to exercise, the reason I started the sessions at home and live sessions is I'm doing them. I do them in my mom's front room. Right, my mom's front room. You know, all you need is yourself, some water, and a towel. That is all you need. Nothing else. Right. So just get started. That is it. Top tip is just get started. Yeah, that's the first one. Yeah. Number one. Second one is stay connected. You know, stay connected. And the third one is ask questions. You know, ask questions, ask for help, reach out, ask questions, and ask for help.
Sorry.
But the most important thing is just get started. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with one single step.
Okay. So number one is get started. Don't overthink it.
Yeah, don't overthink it. Just get started. Messy action.
Okay, don't overthink. And then second one was?
Second one was yeah. So first one is get started. Second one is stay connected. Stay connected. Yeah. So I've got yourself as a business mentor. You got me as a fitness mentor. So you need that instruction and you need that connection to kind of help you through it. So get yourself an instructor, a coach, and a mentor. And the third one, in fact, I'm going to change the third one. Yeah, consistency. Stay consistent. Consistent action.
Okay. Okay. So consistent action. I think consistent. Okay.
Which is what has gotten you to where you are now from when
you know what I'm saying?
You started. Yeah, when you started 23 weeks ago, 4 stone heavier, you know.
Even at 3 in the morning. I did it this morning. I finished at 3 in the morning this morning.
Now that right there is consistency. No,
I said there's no way. If you so what Dennis has said is sometimes my brain says, I don't feel like working out. I'm like, whatever. I want to make sure I don't go to bed until I've worked out. And I do it. Yeah. Perfect.
That's it. And that's what it is. It's not because a lot of times we kind of overcomplicate things, and a lot of times we kind of put a lot of times we tend to so a lot of times we tend to kind of put obstacles in our own way and self-sabotage. But just get started. Don't wait until you have the perfect pair of trainers. Don't wait until you've got the perfect kind of setting. Just get up and do something. You know. Listen, Ade's doing burpees in his passageway, you know.
Yeah.
In a passageway, doing
burpees. I love burpees.
So,
burpees are the one, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and that's it. He didn't wait until he had all the exercise equipment there, the gym equipment there. He thought, you know what, I'm just gonna get down and do these burpees, you know. And now Ade can probably do. What's your BP? PB, sorry. What's your PB on burpees, Ade?
Well, PB was 17 in a minute.
Yeah, there you go. 17 in a minute. I've set Ade a goal. Of doing 20 burpees in a minute. That is your goal. Should you choose to accept the challenge?
When did you set me this goal? When did you set me this goal? This is a very challenging goal.
That is the first one. Yeah,
cool.
Now he's on 30. I normally get to about 20 reps. I normally get to about 20 in a minute, so that's what I'm setting Ade for. You know, he's got to 17. I remember when you were doing 7, bro. When you were doing 6 and 7.
Still like 7.
Dude was doing 6 and 7.
I started off with 7. I'm now on 17.
There you go.
Just get started.
That's it. Just get started. That's the most important thing. Get started, right? Find a teacher or mentor and be consistent, and that's it. Okay. So that's basically. And what I will say is, I got to clear out of it. So you guys, just bear with me.
Just let us finish our session. It's got like another 30 seconds.
You know what I mean? So we're just doing it anywhere. So we're not waiting until we got the perfect setting. And not waiting until we got the perfect setting. We're doing it regardless. You know, kind of doing it regardless. And that's what we do. So and that's what it is. Just kind of messy action. And just showing people that all you need is the will to succeed and the will to kind of achieve that goal and just get it done. You know?
Awesome. Well, Dennis, thank you very much. All pleasure to have you on.
Pleasure.
And You have a brilliant time doing what you're doing with the team at Notting Hill Carnival, and have a great day. See you later.
Awesome, guys. Awesome, guys. If you want to get in contact, with myself, you can email me at thegymguy78@gmail.com. That's thegymguy78@gmail.com. Or you can also turn you guys up. Also, you can get in touch with me on Instagram at thegymguypt.
Brilliant. And this details is already on our website, so you can reach out to us. All these details are on our site, so 1000blackboys.com. Awesome.
Yes.
All righty.
Awesome, bro.
See you later.
Okay, guys. Peace, love. Peace and love.
See you later. Bye-bye. So hi, so thank you for that, ladies and gentlemen. So let me show you what we have left. So I hope that you found that element useful. Like, look, fitness is important. Your physical health is so critically important. If your body's not in great shape, yeah, it makes things very, very challenging. So looking after your health and fitness is huge. We didn't discuss it much today, but Dennis also specializes in nutrition. So both of those things really go well together. And one of the things that's been a real missing and hasn't been discussed much on television around the coronavirus is how to boost your immune system. There are ways in which you can boost your immune system. That's how the system's designed. Yeah? So there's things that you can do, and he specializes in that. So if you've got questions along those lines, please get hold of Dennis and have a chat with him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you, I'm going to show you what we have left. And there's also what I've made available in terms of live coaching. So somebody that wants live coaching, there is somebody who we've sent a link to. Hopefully she can join us in time. So I will show you this. Bear with me. Let's have a look. Add to stream. Okay. So we have spoken with Viv. Brilliant, speaking with Viv. We have also spoken with Today. That rhymes. Today. That rhymes. And we've just met and spoken with Dennis. And this part, so we're going to have a Q&A, but because of where it was at, it's okay. So I'm happy to literally go to, I've got a live coaching session with Ademola. So this is what I do. I coach people, I work with them to get the self-sabotage mechanism out of the way. Because this place, so as a human being, do you know that you make 35,000 decisions in a day? As an adult, normal human being, you make 35,000 decisions in a day. 35,000 in a day. That's a lot. That's a lot of thoughts. That's a lot of things going through your head. That's a lot of things that could be heavy or that could free you up. So I specialize in working with people to unblock their thinking and to see what's in the way so they can get it out of the way and then produce results in their life. So I'm offering a live coaching session to anybody out there who needs support with something. And the lady that emailed us, I'd love to work with her, Jem, if you can get on in time. If that doesn't happen, let's say by 45, which is like in 2 minutes or so, we're going to wrap up half an hour earlier, and we're going to literally go into just closing off day 2 of the second live online 1000 Black Boys event. So hopefully Jem can join us. It'd be brilliant to have her on and support her with what she's dealing with. If she can join us, or if she can join us, then we'll still go up till 6:30. So while I'm waiting for Jen to hopefully come and join us, let me remind you of what I went through yesterday as my coaching in Get Hench. Bear with me, people. So where are we? I'm going to take you straight to this part. Sorry, bear with me. Just want to leave you with this. If this is what I leave you with as the final part of this event this weekend. And thanks to all of you who've been on. Thanks to all of you who are going to watch this at another time. Well done. Good on you. Keep on going. Okay, it's taking a while to load up here. Come on, tech. You can do it. It's loading, ladies and gentlemen. We're nearly there. Okay, let's have a look. Aha, there it is. It's coming. Move. It's nearly there. Don't worry, breathe very, very, very shortly. Right. So I was just talking about this really important thing that that in life, that there are circumstances. There will be circumstances in life. And if there's no circumstances in your life, it means that you're dead. That's really the harsh way to say it. So if you're dealing with something and there's challenges and there's obstacles, I want you to flip it and look at it from a different perspective. And look from the perspective of, it's because I'm alive that I'm dealing with these challenges and these circumstances right now. It's because you're alive and because you're breathing. And what I always say to people is, if you're still breathing, you are still in the game. If you're breathing, you're still in the game. And in terms of circumstances, there's some circumstances that you can control. You can control them. There's some circumstances that you can't control. You've got no power over those. And some circumstances you might say, yes, this is positive. This is good. Or this is bad. This is negative. So those are the 4 kinds of circumstances. But they're just the circumstances. And what I want to leave you with, my fellow human beings, is this. So young people, middle-aged people, old people, wherever you're at on the scale, is regardless of the circumstances or regardless of what happens around you, to you, in your life, or what the news says to you, or the situation in terms of business, for those of you that are running businesses and you've been so massively impacted by this lockdown that's hurt so many people, is remember this. You get to choose what happens after the circumstance has happened. So after the thing has happened, you get to choose what happens next. So your response to that thing is not automatic. So between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Okay, Jem, so I'm talking to the lady that can hopefully come live with us. So you've been sent the link, and just click on the link and it'll bring you in. It'll bring you into the studio with me. So this is really important what I've got on the board here. This is one of the most powerful things that I learned, that my response to a circumstance, to a situation is not automatic. So like I said, start of the lockdown, we had these plans for 2020. We were going to do all these live coaching events with Get Hench. It was amazing. It looked really brilliant on my Excel spreadsheet. And I was like, yeah, gonna in for an absolutely phenomenal 2020, gonna smash it. Built a whole team around it. And then March 23rd, lockdown. And even that Saturday before the lockdown, we were going to do a physical Get Hench event at We Work in Liverpool Street. It was all planned. Everything was set to go. We had to basically pull the plug on it. And all of our events, our revenue, everything we planned for 2020 at that point was hit, decimated. See you later. Not going to happen. So I had lots of different choices. One was beat myself up, especially because I quit where I was working. I left there December last year. So the view could have been, what a bad decision. you left your workplace, and 3 months later, the coronavirus and your business idea has now been completely taken out. Kaput. See you later. I could have dealt with, oh, I'm really bad. I'm a failure. It's terrible. It's like it's really useless. But I didn't deal with that. I just looked at what can I be responsible for? What can I be responsible for? Like there's some things that are within my control and there's some things that are not within my control. So what can I do about it? And that's where the power came from. All right, yes, Jem is here with us. So I'm going to bring Jem live for one of these sessions. So this is completely, we just made it available and Jem said yes. So we're going to do a live coaching session with Jem and just see how I can support her and how I can make a difference to the challenges that she's dealing with. Some of the things that she's dealing with, you might be able to relate to. Some maybe you can't. But my request is, as I'm working with her, I want you to think about your life and what's important to you. Maybe the challenges that you're facing. And use the tools that I'm going to give her in your life. Yeah? So that's my request. So Jem, you're going to come live with us in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey there.
Hi. How are you doing?
Be connected virtually. I'm good. I'm good, thanks. A lot better for listening to you guys yesterday and today. So thank you very much.
My pleasure. My pleasure. And also, well done for being brave. Well done for being like, yeah, I'm gonna go and do that. Because some people probably they do want to do that, but they'll be listening to I call it the chimp. It's the self-sabotage mechanism. Probably dealing with, oh, I'm not sure. What if my hair's not the right place? What if I can do it next time? What if I'm gonna embarrass myself? What? So you just went for it. So from me to you, I call it a virtual hand clap. Well done.
Thank you so much.
Brilliant.
I you too.
So I saw your email come through. So just quickly tell us. So very nice to meet you. Tell us a bit about you. So what do you do? Who are you?
Okay, really briefly. I'm the mother of a 24-year-old, nearly 25-year-old. Been a single parent for most of his life, and recently, well, about maybe since 2014, I got married. But it was all very, I don't know, just time spent apart, I guess. And so 2 years ago, we separated, and during the COVID situation, decided to get divorced. So been dealing with that, but as well as that, previously I was a barrister, but I didn't pursue that too long because of being a single mom. I wanted employment, constant, and I couldn't do the long hours. So I started working for banks and home office. You know, I've done a raft of different things, corporate as well as public sector.
Mm-hmm.
In schools, you know, people know me in so many different, being like a Jill of all trades. And
Sure.
then around about 6 years ago, I discovered I had back pain, low back pain, whatever, really debilitating, plus some other health concerns. So took myself out of that, out of working for the bank. And my partner kind of suggested, because I travel, he kind of suggested that I went along to one of these presentations, and I ended up owning a travel business, which I now do because of the whole lockdown situation. Travel's been kind of hit. So I've kind of scaled back a lot of my, I used to be very much so on social media. I've also got lately I've just been getting all these ideas on business. However, it's the whole thing about execution. I kind of hold myself back, and I know this, and I tend to get very overwhelmed because I take on a lot. But I really want to accomplish a lot of things now. I'm 49. I'm putting my age out there, but like I really just want to just make my 50th year, which is next year. May the 4th be with you. Anyone else who's out there who wants to remember that next year. So yeah, at the moment I've got a few business ideas, and I'm also a co-founder on a tech platform, marketplace that we want to launch. Plus, I have an idea for, because I had to start swimming as my default. I always used to be into fitness, but because the health issues, I couldn't do full out like I used to. I
Sure.
kind of holistically healed myself. So I'm kind of proud of myself for that. You know, learn about nutrition and all this kind of stuff. But I've got so many ideas about, I want to launch a big hair swim cap. Some of the ideas I've kind of done internet marketing, you know, I've just delved into little bits and bobs of things, and I want to get like I don't know what it is that I'm stopping myself from, you know. I just need like a few tweaks, I think, and then it'll just start the ball rolling. And I really admired all the different speakers that you've had on. Tunde, you name it, yesterday, Joy, everyone's been Viv, you know, Dennis, everyone's just been amazing. And I just want to be able to mentor other people. I used to be a mentor years ago when I was in uni, but I've kind of dimmed my light a bit, you know, and I just want to just expand again. And also with everything that's been going on, with a lot of some of our, you know, like even today, waking up to finding out Chadwick, that was a lot last week,
Yeah.
Jacob, all of that. But I don't want that to affect me anymore. You know, I've also lost family members, and I know a lot of other people have had all that. So the challenge is really for us to kind of not just overcome, but just show
To
that
move forwards. So I get that a lot has happened.
yeah,
It sounds very tumultuous, like really like.
a lot, yeah.
So it sounds I refer to that like a boxing match with life.
Yeah, a little bit. But through it all, I know that there's been some great people in my life. And I don't want to let people down. And I also don't want to let myself down. But at the same time, I keep getting these, you know, as soon as I kind of go forward a bit, I take some steps back. So that whole chimp brain, whatever you call it, you know, I've been doing a lot of mindset work as well. I have a business partner who been so encouraging. She wants us to do a podcast, which you know, it's just a lot of things. And I just want to start nailing them down, because at the moment, up in the air. Plus, I want to keep on with my travel business, because I can give the opportunity for people to get online and sell travel. But right now, is to get my audience to know that I actually exist, because I think because people have known me in other sectors, they don't actually take it seriously, that, you know, they kind of see it as like a hobby, but that really is my business. And I've got friends and family who keep booking, like on my website, they can actually book themselves, just like booking.com on it, or Expedia or whatever. They can book themselves. They don't have to come to me to curate their holidays. And I think that they'll be charged by going on my website, but no, they'll just be supporting me. But I think part of the reason is because I haven't made it clear enough that they can have that option of not necessarily, and they can go on my website and just, you know, they won't charge extra. In fact, sometimes they get better deals just by going on my website, because my host agency, they really good rates from like the travel suppliers. So go figure, but I have to work on that. So my online presence, my content delivery, all of it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, Jem, thank you for that. So thank you for being vulnerable, honest, and bold with the things that you said. So let's give you some power with this. Are you ready?
Yeah.
So there's a few things that you mentioned there. Let's pick one that we can work on in this conversation. Which one would that be?
Okay.
Go for the one that's the biggest juice.
Right. I would say most present one for me right now is getting my travel business back online.
Travel business, yeah? Okay, cool. So there's a few other things that I can hear that we can work on. And I want just to kind of hone in on one because of our time.
Yeah.
So if you can see my screen, right?
Okay.
So normally I take people through this journey of dealing with the chimp and being aware that it's them. But one thing I want to say to you and to those that are listening or those that are watching this is there is definitely this part of the brain that's always running, that's always consistent. People might call it the voice, some call it the self-sabotage mechanism, some call it the internal state. So I call it the chimp. And a chimp is an acronym for something. And the C is, there's two parts to the chimp. There's the sayings, the things that it says, and then there's the character that it demonstrates. I won't take you through that so much today. I want to take you through to reality that we covered yesterday.
Yeah.
I just get the sense of that's where we should go and discuss. So there's still things behind this for us to unplug and to uncover. And so we can put that concern or that to one side. So we're talking about the travel business. So where is it today? And where do you want it to be come 4 months' time? So where is it today, the travel business?
Right. It kind of died down a lot since the beginning, like around March, because commissions for the summer holidays, I had to refund some people and also look at, postponing some. And even though I've had inquiries recently and I've gathered some packages, people are still very uncertain because of the whole quarantine thing when they're back. So at the moment, nothing really happening. And I know I could be putting myself out there more in terms of making up, letting people do staycations, as in they can.
Sorry, Jim, the line's breaking up a little bit. Would you mind coming close to the mic or?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, let's try this one.
Right. So I reckon I need to concentrate and let people know that I do staycations. So yeah. Just putting it out there on my socials, as well as perhaps having adverts.
Well, that's a good idea. So let's have a look at this. So I'm going to take you straight through to what I call reality. So there's different levels to the coaching. So I'm going to go straight through to how you could look at the world. So how you could look at the world in relation to the travel business.
Yeah.
Can you see my screen?
I can.
You can. Okay, cool. Okay. So just to summarize this part is, in terms of what's happened with the coronavirus and with the lockdown, do you have control over the lockdown and over the coronavirus pandemic?
No.
No, you don't. And that's just a circumstance.
Yeah.
Have you spent time feeling bad about that and making yourself feel bad about the coronavirus and about the lockdown?
Initially, yes. I've been through cycles because I get happy again once people start coming out of lockdown, the airports were opening again, all of that. And then now there's a different situation and it's looking more and more like vaccinations are going to be more, necessary. There are a few countries who you don't see when you come back. So it's just to highlight those as well.
Sure. And so here's the thing to look at. So with that, with the lockdown, with when it stops, with the talk around vaccinations, with all of that, just consider that with that, right now at 6:03 p.m. on the 29th of August, there's nothing you could do like that. That's not within your control.
Yeah.
And there is a consequence if you spend time and focus on that. What's the consequence going to be?
Inaction.
And what else?
Despair. Just like a downward spiral.
Yeah. So inaction, despair, and what else? So if it's inaction, despair, you're worrying about something that you've got no control over. What else is there? What else do you have?
it will impact on my revenue because there's nothing coming in. There's nothing I'm doing.
Right. So it was going to have an impact on all of that. Now, is that what you want?
No.
It's not, is it? So
No.
what do you want? What do you really want?
Ideal situation looking in 4 months. So let's say by January next year, I'd have had to have booked minimum 25 holidays.
20 holidays. These are staycations, right?
Yes,
Okay.
and possibly overseas as well, because I've had a couple of people asking me for Ghana, and also because it's coming up to Christmas, and also America. So
Sure.
yeah, it's a mix. Plus, usually the winter holidays, there's a huge amount of ski holidays that are taken, and possibly even though Switzerland's been put under lockdown, there's France. There's also the other one, Italy.
Spain? It's okay. Okay. Well, so that's great. So hold on to that. So that's what you want.
Mhm.
So 20 holidays to be booked by
Yeah.
January 2021.
Yeah.
But I think we're saying by the 29th of December 2020, you booked 20 holidays.
Yeah.
Okay. So now what I'm going to ask you on my screen, you can see reality and acronym.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you, where in reality can you stand? Will be my question. When I say reality, so the R is responsibility. So this is about when something happens, you have the ability to respond and determine what happens next. Then there's the thing about cause and effect, causality. So that you're not a victim of stuff, but you can cause what happens next. So that's responsibility. Engage is you can get on a court in relation to this area, your travel business. How can you engage and get on a court to have this 25 holidays happen?
Mhm.
Awareness is this thing about just discerning, picking stuff up. That's what the awareness stands for. Life, listen, love. Life relates to being able to actually, I define it as snap out of your head and your thoughts and be in reality. And you can be in life. You can go for a walk. You can feel the breeze. You can smell the leaves, things like this. That's life. Listen is just to literally listen to conversation, engage with people and listen to them, not through your concerns, but listen to them. And love is just love for yourself, what you're dealing with, for yourself as a human being. That's what love is. Intelligence is two parts to it. So there's the part that you have this incredible intelligence in you where you know things that you shouldn't really know. It goes beyond discernment, it goes beyond awareness.
Yeah.
And it's also that there's this higher power, I call him God, that orders your steps, that you can, things work out when you act on things. People might call me lucky, but when I act on stuff, things just 2 + 2 is 4. So that's intelligence.
Yeah.
And then the T is trust, where you get to trust yourself and trust the things you're taking on. And then the Y is you say yes. So Y is there's an opportunity, rather than hesitating, you go for it.
Mm.
So that's reality. So my question for you is, if you were to pick one or two or some of these, where in reality can you stand?
I would say right now, definitely responsibility.
Okay.
Because when I own what's really going on, I can then do something with it. Definitely engage. I think
Okay.
that's the most pressing ones. And then that intelligence, or leave it, intelligence and the trust. Plus saying yes, because there's so many things out there right now that it's coming at me, and I think hold myself back from it because I'm in a few business groups, like networking groups, whereby they're actually some really top level people.
Mhm.
I think it's just for me to get over myself and reach out to them, like
Sure.
Tunde, as well as, you know, all of you've kind of mentioned it, where you've got to kind of get past your ego
Mhm.
and reach out to people within your network who can actually make things happen. So, you know, part of it, I think, because I've been battling my divorce and, you know, feeling kind of,
Yeah, don't worry about that. Don't. So just so it's everything here. You're doing great.
it's kind of impacted on how I kind of show up as my authentic self.
I got it. Because the thing is, had you had more time, I actually would have coached you on a divorce thing. I think that has more of an impact than you see. I think that impacts everything else. Everything else that you spoke about.
Yeah.
Because marriage is not such a just a physical thing; it's a spiritual thing.
Yeah.
So, in terms of your spirit, mind, conscious, unconscious, your soul, your emotions, and your physical body, that's impacted all four.
Yeah.
And the travel business is only an expression of that inward impact. So, do you know what? We can also set up a call offline and support you with some coaching around that.
Okay.
But in terms of what you said, in terms of the travel business, so where reality you can stand, you said responsibility.
Yeah.
You said engage. You said intelligence.
Yeah.
And then you say yes.
Yes.
Right? So if you just stay with that, so responsibility, engage, intelligence, and you say yes. If you just stand in that, if you look ahead, you touched on some of them already. What actions do you see to take?
I would say start writing down the people I can reach out to.
Okay.
Engage with them.
Okay.
Start going, just like you said, you know, trust, kind of get out of my head and start trusting like the inner knowing, like the intuition, and then say yes to any of the opportunities that come up for me.
Okay.
In acting, I think that will come along.
So brilliant. So this is the part. So this is where we're getting. This is where I want us to get to. So this is where the juice is at. So you said write out a list of people that you can reach out to. So let's make that real and specific, right?
Yeah.
So write out a list of 30 people that you can reach out to from your network. 30.
Yeah.
And when are you going to write that out by?
Today.
By what time?
Within the next 10 minutes.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So what we'll do is, if you could do it by 6:30 and you can put it into the chat, that would be great. But I'll give you to 6:45 to get that all done.
Okay.
So let's say by 6:45 you've written all 30 names of people that you're going to reach out to. All 30 names you've written out. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is going to be, when are you going to reach out to the first 10? And when will you reach out to the second 10? And then the third 10? So let's do with the first one. So you write out the list by today, 6:45 p.m. When are you going to reach out to the first 10 people? By?
It's a bank holiday, but I can probably send them all a message by this evening.
Okay.
Tomorrow. Make that tomorrow, because it's already basically half the day's gone. So yeah.
Sure. I'd say don't let the thing about it's a bank holiday get in your way.
No, because everyone these days anyway. Everyone's yeah.
And did you put that you're going to message them?
Yeah.
Why are you going to message them? Have you got their phone numbers?
Yes.
Okay.
And email.
You got their phone numbers and you got their email addresses.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're being responsible, Jem, why don't you call them?
True. Yeah. I can call. Yeah.
And if you stand in trust, they answer, great. They don't answer, great. So they don't answer, pop a message. Can we speak on Monday or Tuesday next week?
Yeah.
But step out into it. You say yes. Don't deal with, because there's something behind I'm going to message them, which could be, oh, what if they don't answer? What if they're like, leave me alone, it's the weekend. But that's not real. That's the reality. So
Yeah.
call them.
Okay.
So let's do this. So the first 10 people, you are going to call them by when?
By tomorrow.
So we say by tomorrow, 6:45 p.m.
Yeah. Yeah. 24 hours.
Yeah. So within 24 hours, you're going to call the first 10 people. Brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you're going to call the second 10 people?
Monday. Actually, that's when I'm meant to be doing my podcast. I can reach out to prior to the to the meeting.
Sorry, Jem, the line cut out there. Say that last part again.
I said I will do so by Monday. I have a cast lined up. We're going to be doing cast, but I can do that by Monday.
Sure. If you've got another commitment on Monday, as long as you put a time in there that's clear and specific, it could be Tuesday, it could be Wednesday, because the goal is that it's something that you can deliver on.
Yeah.
So if Monday's already packed with something else, don't say Monday. You might want to say, I'll do that by 6:45 p.m. on Tuesday.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because
Yeah?
yeah.
So that would work. That would be the second lot of 10 people. And then the last lot of 10 people, when will you reach out, get hold of them?
Again by Thursday, because Wednesday I have a meeting for my startup, the aesthetics platform.
Cool. So by Thursday, 6:45 p.m. again?
Yes, close the play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm going to ask you to do is just to stand in trust, since that's something that you picked.
Yeah.
And that means that you suspend disbelief. You suspend the concern and the what if, but what if they say no? What if they don't answer? What if somebody's rude to me? So what? Next, keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So what do you see now? What's there for you now?
Already, if I do these and I don't get the full, 20, I can go into another 30.
Yeah.
I can keep going, and I'll probably pass my anticipated 20, 25.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Now compare that to when you started the conversation with me.
Yeah. Basically,
What's different?
I feel a lot lighter. Yeah.
Oh no.
It's doable.
So that's it.
Yeah.
And for those of you that are listening, and also, so Jem, thank you very much for being so coachable, and thank you for being really vulnerable and coming on the line with us. So I definitely acknowledge you. And that's what it looks like. It's just to have the clarity that once all the stuff is out the way, all you're left with is actions. And what we're going to do is you're going to email me those actions and going to check in with you to make sure that you get them done.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah.
And if you don't get them done, it's probably because this has kind of got in the way. So don't let this get in the way. If you deliver on that,
Yeah.
you will be in a different place come 7 p.m. on Thursday.
True.
Because you've taken a series of actions. And that's all life is. The only thing that moves reality is actions. Everything else is just like, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts, feelings, emotions don't deliver results. They don't do anything in terms of life. They just give us things to worry about. Thoughts, feelings, and emotions, it's like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you anywhere. The only thing that moves reality is action.
Mm-hmm.
And these are your actions. Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome. Anything else you want to say?
No, this has been great. Thank you. I mean, it's almost like is the accountability side of things, I think, and also just defining what it is that will move me and then acting on it. So,
Perfect. Yeah. Exactly that. Exactly that. So thanks again for being on. Thank you for being bold and you went for it.
Yeah.
Acknowledge you. Well done. And yeah, send me an email with those points, and yeah, let's produce some results.
Okay, thank you.
See you later. Bye bye. Alrighty. So thank you for listening to that. That's how it works. Did you get something for yourself? Did you see something in what Jem said that you resonated with, and you thought, actually, yes, that's really relevant to me. Yes, I could do with some of that. So that's how the reality mindset tool works. You pick something and you say to yourself, you look at what you're saying to yourself right now about that particular area. You then also look at, well, if you just sit there and let this thing happen to you, what's going to be the result in a few months' time? And just really honest with yourself, is that what you really want? Probably isn't. So if it's not what you want, then don't deal with it. Say no. And then you literally go for, where in reality can you stand? You pick something, you say responsibility, engage, awareness, life, listen, love, intelligence, trust. You say yes. And then you take a series of actions and you really go for it. So we're summarizing now. We're about to close. We've got 9 minutes left. And I'm going to go through this part really quickly. But thank you all for being on. And thank you for listening. For those of you that are watching this later on, thank you for watching this. I hope that you get lots of value from this conversation. And I generally hope that it makes a difference to you in your life. For the young black boys and young black men, well done. So these tools are for you. We're here for you as an organization because we see the future. We see the incredible, powerful, phenomenal things that you will deliver on. Not could, that you will deliver on. We see the incredible creations that you will bring about. We see how you transform this planet. And we are standing in that now. So always remember that. So we're here for you. So let me share my screen with you as we close. So today's session has been absolutely phenomenal. And we started off with talking to Viv. And after Viv, Tunde shared with us about the things that he's up to. Dennis in the power and importance of fitness. And we just went live. We just did a short coaching session there with Jem. And she got some value from that, I think. I think she did. So that's what we've done today. And I'm going to go through future dates with you very, very shortly. So this time we're planning ahead. So similarly to the things that you're dealing with, our last event, we went on the basis of, do you know, people normally say, aim, fire. We don't do that. Aim, fire is along the lines of perfectionism, trying to get things perfect. We don't deal with that. We get the information as best as we can, and then we go. So we fire, get feedback, and then we aim. And then we fire again, get feedback, and then we aim. So that's how you perfect things. That's how you actually improve. Not by trying to get things perfect before you move. You act, get feedback, and then you move again. So you go for it, act, get feedback, act, get feedback, act. That's how things improve, and that's how things get better. So we did the event in June, and there were a few gaps that we saw. One of them was we didn't plan in advance for the next event. So we're putting that in now, and we've actually got dates in the diary for our event in October, in January, in December, and January. So we've learned from that. So that's how things get better. And that's what happens. This is how we do it. What you should also know as well is we've set up a GoFundMe. And why are we doing this? So this is all self-funded right now. We're doing this purely out of passion. If you love what we do, and if what we do has made a difference to you, or you think it would make a difference to you, and you like, I love this, please fund us. GoFundMe. Go for it. And this will go towards what we're doing at 1,000 Black Boys. And what we also want to do is we want to put on mentorship programs after these events. And some of this could also go to what we do to mentor and coach the Black boys and young black men through the coaching program that we deliver at Get Hench. So those are the things that we're looking at. We're also reaching out to different organizations that can actually fund this project and fund other things. We're looking at ways of not just getting funding, how we can generate revenue. So this is self-sufficient. This is our goal. We've got a big vision. So if you want to partner with us, you want to fund us, our GoFundMe is available. We're going to send that out on email and put that onto our platforms. So that's there. So bear with me. I'm kind of working on two screens. What's going on with this part? Let me push the button. It's going to change very shortly. It's going super slowly. Okay. Please light up. It's changing. You can't see it yet, but it's changing. There we go. See, it's changed. So these are the upcoming dates. So October 23rd and 24th, there'll be a Friday, Saturday again. And then we're going to do Friday the 11th of December. We're just doing one day in December because it's a packed month, lots of things going on. So we're doing one day in December to give you a boost as we finish off 2020. And it's been a very interesting year, challenging year, unbelievable year. So we want you to finish the year on a high. And then starting 2021. So that's going to be on the 23rd of January when we're doing our one in January. I've got to say this as well. I saw this morning. I was like, what? I don't believe it. So RIP to Chadwick Boseman. And, you know, incredible actor. We've all been incredibly blessed by the films and by his acting. And we're just sending our love and our regards and our prayers to his wife, family, and to the friends. Yeah, I'm sure all of you echo that and feel the same way. So yeah, so something that I saw about 3:34 this morning. I was like, what do you mean? Yeah, so we're sending our love to his wife and to the family and to the friends. Had to definitely say that. Bear with me while it changes. And I want to leave you with this. I love quotes. Absolutely love quotes. If you can see behind me on my wall, to this side, there's quotes all over the wall. So sometimes when things happen, and I'm like, what? Just looking around me, seeing a quote inspires me, gets me back into the game. So this is it, by Abraham Lincoln. In the end, it's not the years in your life that count. It's the life in your years. And what this means is make full use of the life that you have. Go for everything, every opportunity that's there before you. Go for it. Don't just let life and time pass you by so you've accumulated years. Put incredible things into those years. Do things that inspire you. Inspire other people. Make a difference. There's no pretend life. It's not like this is like a trial run. I'm going to pretend, and then I'll have my real one in a few months' time, or I'll have my real life in a few years' time, or I'm waiting for my real life to show up, so I'll just kind of endure this one. Don't do that. Put some life into your years and absolutely go for it. Go for the opportunities that you've seen in front of you, the things that are there. Go for it. The ideas that you have, take them on. Take them on. Go for it. Don't deal with thinking. Deal with doing. It will make a difference to you. And that's what that means. Bear with me, this is loading up. And yeah, so please stay connected with us. You can connect with us on Instagram and Twitter. I keep on saying Twitter, please pardon me. But yeah, Instagram and Twitter at 1000 Black Boys. Our Facebook and YouTube, please follow, like, subscribe. We're going to put lots of content out there. We're going to chop up parts of these videos and put them on there as well. The one from June is there for you already. We've got little bits of those, the June one. You can have that as well. So yeah, please follow us on these platforms. Connect with us. We'd love to interact with you. And our website, you can also sign up to our mailing list. And if you love what we do, you think there's other organizations that we can partner with to make even more of a difference, let us know. We know that it takes a village to raise a child. We're not out here trying to do this by ourselves. That's just long. Doesn't make any sense. Try and do it by yourself. So if you know people that we should definitely be partnering with, speaking with, organizations to partner with, speak with, let us know. We want to do this together to have a huge impact and make a big difference. So thank you very much. See you in October, 23rd and 24th. So the Friday will be from 3:30 to 6 p.m. on the Friday, the 23rd of October. And on the 24th of October, it'll be from 3:30 to 6:30, just like today. And let's do it. Let's transform the world. Bye-bye.